that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
There we are. Welcome to the Sports Cage on this Tuesday.
I can't hear you.
What have you fellas hear me?
Can anybody hear us?
Okay. I can't hear you either.
I can't hear you.
It's okay. We're live.
I can turn that. There we
Show
go.
is on the road in Melville, Saskatchewan. The site of Game 3 between the Melville Millionaires and the Yorkton Terriers. Sharky's with me if you're watching the stream. Nice little backdrop. Carter did a heck of a job. We got the rink in
Carter
the background
set us up nice.
You've never been to this rink in Melville.
Great barn.
CN Center.
Great barn.
All that railroad money.
Yep.
Beautiful facility. Obviously, the town stepped up. Made a heck of a rink here. In hour one, we'll hopefully be joined by Daniel Hope, president of the Melville Millionaires. He can give us the backstory on the franchise, doing some reading. You know that they won the Allen Cup?
Yes.
Long time ago.
Long time
Early
ago.
1900s.
This franchise has been around a long time. Yeah.
You're looking at a Tim Shovelday mural, Richard Zemlak mural, a couple of the famous Melville Melvinites. What are they called here?
Just millionaires.
Melville. No, people from Melville.
Melvillians?
Melvillians. 3 hours.
Melvillites?
3 hours for you today. You can always chime in. I know you love that word, Maz. 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals text line.
Oh, that's loud.
That was really loud.
Yeah.
Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street since 1986. You get to deal with the owners. Need to rent anything for a big job or small job. Go visit Prairie Land Rentals.
Walk behind skid steer for your front yard. You can get it there.
Still on the fence on that one.
Yeah.
So like I said, we got Daniel Hope, Melville Millionaires. Hopefully in hour one, we're going to run down what's happening in the SJHL tonight. AAA Midget, massive game in Assiniboia. Curious to get Sharky's take on the Ed Hervey comments. We haven't talked to you since that.
No.
Manitoba Premier, for some reason, in hot water about a charter flight.
I don't get that at all.
Blue Bombers.
No.
That's a little much. Let's get on to that in a bit. Hour two, Arash Madani. Here we go, baseball fans. There's a lot of Blue Jay fans. My mom, Derek Bidwell's parents, there are a lot. Colin Lovequist, like diehard Blue Jay fans. Can they just hang in? How long can they hang in this year? Because it's such a long season. The worst is when it's like
August,
everything's
July, and
you're
August.
cooked by August.
Yeah. When it's over.
Well, that's no fun.
Nope.
Arash in hour two. We'll talk some WHL expansion, clutch performer. Benny Walchuk, SJHL report, live.
Love it.
Here in person. All you Benny Walchuk fans, get down here. Glenn Suter in hour three. Glenn's back from across the pond from Europe.
It seems like he's been gone forever.
He did end up going to St. Andrews.
He did he?
Yeah.
Did he get you a gift?
Sent me a picture. He actually texted, and I was having a bad day, and I was like, don't worry about it. But yeah, Glenn's a great guy. We'll talk to that. Also, in hour one, we're hoping to talk to Moose Jaw, Winmar Warriors, AAA U18, Midget AAA head coach Trevor Weisgerber, as they get set to play the Patsies tonight in Assiniboia. There are tickets available. Darn near close to sold out.
In Assiniboia.
But they said they're not turning anyone away.
That's outstanding. That's great for the town of Assiniboia to be able to host that and have that game come in there.
Yeah, well, They welcomed Weyburn. They welcomed. They got a junior team there. They got a great senior team.
Yeah.
They got that awesome barn. The beauty about this barn, and a lot of people out there, rink, arena, call it what you want, is there's the track.
There's a walking track
on the outside. So, Pete, what's your first name? Yeah. Monica.
Monica, and wasn't it Dennis?
Dennis.
Dennis
They're walking.
Yes.
They're getting their steps in.
Getting their exercise.
Here come Dennis again. Yeah. So a lot of people know that the rinks that they build nowadays,
multi-purpose.
Estevan has the same thing. I think Assiniboia. I've never been to Assiniboia, but I think they have the track. There's that one rink that we always had to play in Winnipeg, spring hockey. Beautiful track on the outside. Yeah. So Monica and Dennis are out getting their steps in. If you're in the Melville area, stop in.
Get your steps in.
Go for a twirl around the track. That's where we're set up. You just got to step over our duct tape. That's over there. Carter did a great job setting us up here. Although, Carter, I can't see the feed now. Something's happening here. So, Melville.
Yes.
Game 2. How it went down in Norton. We're staying for the game tonight.
We are.
From all accounts, we're not leaving early. Scored last minute to take the lead. Then Yorkton scores with 4 seconds left. Then they go to overtime, and Yorkton wins it. It's one of those almost must-wins for Melville.
It is tonight. Yeah, you can't put yourself down 3-0 in a best of 7. It's just too hard to beat somebody 4 straight in that scenario when they've got all the momentum. So Melville has got them. They've got their backs against the wall tonight, so to speak, and they got to make sure they bring their best game tonight for sure.
Weyburn Battleford's going tonight. They're 1-1. I think that you thinking that's a series that could.
That's another 6-7 game series for sure. Yeah. And when we talked about that last week, that's where I was on that one. And Benny was the same way. He said, "Don't count out Battleford, right? No. Just because they're starting on the road, don't count them out." They won game 2, and they've taken away home ice from the Wayward Red Wings and bring it back to Battleford. So exciting for them.
And then. Can Humboldt pull one out at home with Flin Flon now coming to the Elgar Peterson Arena? I think Humboldt will win one of these 2 at home.
I think they'll win one. If they don't win tonight, they're still in trouble. If they win tonight, they get themselves back in the series. Humboldt's going to need a great game from their goaltender, who's done an outstanding job in the first 2 games, but they're really going to need him to bail them out because they got shut out by Flin Flon. So they're going to need more good goaltending if they've got a chance to advance.
If you lose tonight.
Ugh.
And then you win game 4.
And then you're back
to fill up the bus.
Go back to the Flon.
Back to Flin Flon. That's a lot of gas money, boys.
Yeah.
Are we going up there for a purpose? What are we doing? And then it's a tough assignment for Kindersley. They're at home, though, to Melfort, number 1 seeded Melfort. And it got nasty in period 3.
Oh, did it?
The last game.
Oh, they were upset with each other, were they?
It was like Trevor Blevins was on the ice, not coaching.
Uh-oh.
No, he wasn't, but I'm saying it was like...
he was playing.
Back in the mid-90s.
Yeah. You know what? Kindersley's got a big mountain to climb. Melfort's been a wagon all year. They've been the best team for a reason, and they just play so consistently. I don't think you're going to drag Melfort into a barroom or a back alley brawl that's going to do you any benefit, because if they get power plays, they'll kill you. So you got to play face up and make sure you play in their zone. And Kindersley's got a lot of work to do. They really do.
That's your SJHL rundown. Let's shift over to the AAA midget loop. Like I said, they're in Assiniboia tonight. Moose Jaw can't play in Moose Jaw because of the Ford World Curling Championships, which starts this weekend already. So they are in Assiniboia. Assiniboia is like, no problems. Like, hopefully Trevor Weisgerber, head coach, Moose Jaw will join us in a bit. They're down 1-0 in that series. I wasn't at game 1. I heard it was close.
It was really close. 2-1.
Both goaltenders really good.
Yep.
And they are accepting walk-ups tonight. So if you are in the Assiniboia area, I heard Curtis Nelson probably down there. There's people coming from all over to watch this one.
Why wouldn't you?
You get unbelievable hockey. There's no doubt. This league final, AAA, U18, midget, call it what you want. It is so fast. It is such good hockey. And then there is the fact of Maddox Schultz.
Maddox Schultz. You're getting to see the first round pick. The first pick overall, probably, likely, in our opinion, in the Western Hockey League draft this April. He's a special player. He's a special player to watch and see. And but there's also, you know what? There's great players on both teams, and I think as fun to watch because I like defensive hockey myself. But Eli Johnson has done a great job for the Pac Canadians. He's just a workhorse back there on the back end. So if you like that defensive style of play and those big defensemen, Eli is something special to watch for the Patsies as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be really really good there. So that's basically it. Junior B, Fort Knox. We just went through on the way here. They swept
Ooh,
Regina
7-1.
Capitals.
Oh,
Yeah, so they're now tonight, Chiefs and Wesley's. So they're trying to figure out who they're going to play there. Wesley's have the series lead. They can wrap it up tonight. And then WHL.
yeah.
While we're on the playoff hockey topic, it's PA worked. They worked at it, and they did what they had to against Saskatoon on the weekend. They got Edmonton starting on Friday.
Yep.
Calgary. Well, Saskatoon now has to play Calgary, so that's
not a place you want to start, but anyway.
And I think was it Colson or Allen yesterday that said Saskatoon and Calgary haven't met since like the year 2000.
Could be. Yeah, could be a while.
Lethbridge, Brandon, long
bus ride. Bus ride.
Medicine Hat, Swift. Okay, let's go through these first. I'm curious. Who do you got? PA, Edmonton.
You know what? I think PA is playing some really, really good hockey right now, and I don't think Edmonton has raised their game when they had a chance to stay higher up in the standings. So I like the Raiders coming through on that. I really do.
Calgary, Saskatoon.
It's going to be tough for Saskatoon. Calgary is as good as Medicine Hat on any given night, so I would take Calgary.
Can Brandon upset the powerful Lethbridge Hurricane?
It is the one round that I think an upset has potential. It really is. It is the one round that I think Brandon could do it. But Lethbridge has been battling Calgary and Medicine Hat for the top in the Central all year long. They deserve a lot of respect. The Lethbridge Hurricanes do. But Brandon might be the one team that can upset in the first round.
You got Roger McQueen back in the fold, so
it's a help. It's a help.
You're taking maybe a Brandon upset.
Yep.
Medicine Hat, Swift. Swift's got a tough battle.
Swift got a heck of a battle ahead of him. Medicine Hat just looks like they're on fire. So, but you know what? If you win one in Medicine Hat, if you can take one on the road, it changes everything, and that'll be Swift's goal in the first two games just to get one out of there.
The beauty of junior hockey, and there's a lot of times an upset early or a team wins on the road. How many times did we see? Well, you saw it in Regina when Lauren Mulliken, early 2000s.
Yeah.
They were hosting the Memorial Cup.
Yep.
Lost out first round
to the Calgary Hitmen.
Yep. No business losing.
Nope, none.
Then you got 8 weeks off.
Yep.
Send everyone home, come back, have a training camp. And then that happened to Mulliken in Saskatoon.
He did, same thing. Same story.
Memorial Cup host.
And I don't know who beat him in Saskatoon. Was it Brandon? No. I can't remember.
It might have been like a red D.
Doesn't matter.
Speculate.
Yeah, but Mooner had the same problem up there. It's just a long sit out. But you know what? You talk about teams that came from behind to beat somebody. Come here back with the Pats in 91. Raiders were a bandwagon in the East. Mike Medano, the Nelson boys up there, and Pats took them in 3. Best of 5 took them in 3, and it was pretty. Knocked them out. The Raiders were expecting to go a long ways deep in the playoffs. We then faced a Medicine Hat team that everybody had a beard. It looked like they were 75 years old. That team, they were the biggest, meanest group of human beings ever, and the Pats lost out in 5 to the Tigers.
75-year-olds wouldn't be hard to beat.
Yeah, they looked old. They looked really mature, though. They looked really mature. Yeah.
So that's kind of the rundown. Everything happening locally, hockey-wise, when it comes to junior.
Hey, I want to make a comment on an interview you had yesterday with Alan Miller. I was really impressed with the way he's thinking about and we've talked about this all year long, the way Al's lined up this team for the future. And now they've got an expansion draft to deal with to boot with Penticton coming in the league. I think Allen's done a great job, and as has Jason Ripplinger, of restocking the shelves in Moose Jaw. If there's a team that's looking to restock in a big way, and now they're going to put themselves behind the 8 ball, it's Kelowna Rockets, who are hosting the Memorial Cup, but they are dead last in the Western Conference. So they've got some work to do, but I like the way the 2 Eastern Division teams have set themselves up for the future, and I look forward to some great hockey down Highway number 1.
And it just it doesn't surprise me, but it's just so unfortunate that people will comment on the Pats and the season they had and how bad it was, and
not understanding the process.
Record. It's like, come on, you gotta open up your eyes a bit and see how this has to work. You can't be good every year. If you're good 2 years in a row, that's basically it.
That's it.
And then you got to restart.
Yeah. And I mean, they don't play till they're 30. They play till they're 19 or 20. It's a process of building a junior, or you become that team that always has these 18 and 19-year-olds you're trading for, which are usually somebody else's cast-offs. You end up with 28 to 32 wins, just make the playoffs, bow out in 4 games. That's no way to be either. So you might as well start right from scratch. That's what Alan Miller's done, and I like the approach he's taken. I like the attitude he's got, too.
Got a lot of capital. Well, you look at his resume.
Oh, I know.
He's been around. He knows what he's doing. I really hope they stick with the coaching staff. I know there's people out in the community that it's like, kids don't want to play for Brad Haroff, or kids. Yeah, because you know why? Because kids are so entitled these days, and their parents have their nose into everything.
Yep.
That this is no word of a lie. I've heard this from other WHL teams, not Regina, that they field calls from psycho hockey parents, and their kids are playing in the bloody WHL.
Yep.
Give your head a shake.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think this is good? How do you think this is going to benefit their career now? At this is probably the last stop.
Without a doubt.
Whatever pro they play, if they are the absolute, slim minority, that's going to the NHL.
It's so small that you don't even realize it. Yeah,
you may be doing Europe, you're maybe doing minor pro. Hopefully, you're getting an education. Yep. And that's it. What are you going to pick up the phone if your kid's playing in Malmo, Sweden, and talk to the coach? Like,
no comprende inglés.
What is going on? And it's like the kids don't want, because there are some coaches that still, and there's a number in the junior A ranks in the SJHL too, that they are a little old school. And it's like, we're going to play it this way, and this is how you're going to play for me.
Or we're going to trade you to Charlottetown, and your dad doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Right? I mean, that's what happens. If you're a kid at home and your dad and your mom are constantly in your coach's ear at the junior level, you should be prepared to play as far away from home as possible, because that's where they're going to trade you, because they don't want to deal with that. That's not something a coach at a junior level who's being paid to coach, and it's his job on the line, not his hobby, not his spare time activity. It's his career, and you're interrupting his career. He doesn't come to your work and tell your people that they're not getting enough love, right?
We talked about this on the way up, and it's like, I feel that kids, and when Harry was on, like, kids are playing video games, and, they're just different than we were. They don't go to the bars, and they're not going to in the NHL.
No,
like, they're going and they're playing video games, and so I think that there's kids, and there's always been, it doesn't matter what demographic, we all know that kid that was always really sheltered. Yep. And kind of played video games all the time, with a Nintendo back in the day or whatever, and then just never had the network, the social skills, anything like that. Then they get into high school, and then you got to be kind of social in high school. You got to find a group.
You got to find your niche.
You got to find your group.
Yep.
Whether it's the jocks or the Actel or the very smart kids, or the headbangers,
or music and drama, or whatever, or science, or I don't
SRC,
care.
Anything.
No matter.
And the more groups you're in high school, like, looking back,
the better off.
The cooler you. Like, I had buddies that were jocks, but they were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And then some of them were in band, and some of them were in drama. And like looking back, I'm like, yeah, that would have been so cool. Like, why was I worried about being cool? Like, who doesn't like acting on stage?
I did it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
it's kind of what we're doing right now. Like, it's not.
Our whole lives are a facade.
Yes,
We got a backdrop wherever we go.
you have these kids that are probably sheltered, and then they get up to past high school and they get into like the real world, and I don't know. Like, there's some jobs that being sheltered is okay. Like if you're a accountant,
Great.
You're usually pretty sheltered. You kind of do your thing.
Yeah. You're an individual.
Yeah. But it's almost like you can tell. Okay, they were never in a sport. They were never in swimming lessons. They were never in band where you had to go. And then the parents out there know this. It's like, I don't feel like going today. It's like, too bad.
That's
You're
right.
going.
We signed up. We paid the money.
Yeah, you're going. But there are some that they consistently, he doesn't feel good. He doesn't want to go. Coddle. And then it's, okay, I don't know. I'm no expert in parenting by any means, but it's just that. And then on the sports side, if you're always talking to the coach and you're always got to complain and you're not stepping up and really coaching either. And then I don't even know how it continues in the AAA.
I don't get it either. Yeah.
Like if I would have went to Roman's coach this year in AA Bantam and said, hey, I think he probably would have punched me.
B, here's the whistle. I'm going home. I got beer to drink.
Yeah, like the amount of time that's going in.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know we all know the game. We think we know the game probably better than we actually do.
We know lots of parts of it. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, no, and you talk to some of these WHL coaches, you talk to scouts too, and the things that they see that we don't on kids' games.
Oh, sure.
And probably I was ignorant in the past too to go, yeah. But now as we get into better hockey, it's like, that makes sense.
I have a friend who's also a sponsor of this show who's actually fired the kid and the parents that have come to the office because the parent has come and said, well, you got to do better with my kid. No, I'm letting him go, and you're fired as well.
Solid.
Yeah, you want to come and complain about your kid here, and you're fired as well.
It is the Sports Cage. We are live. If you're watching the stream, you see that we are in Melville getting ready for Game 3, Millionaires, Yorkton Terriers tonight. We are streaming at sportscage.com on X. And as always, on the radio, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Nutrien, Harvard Media, and the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce proudly present the 2025 Paragon Awards, Friday, April 4th at 6 p.m. at the Delta Hotel. The Paragon Awards celebrate business excellence and success in the Regina and District community. For more information and tickets, visit reginachamber.com. Proudly presented by Nutrien, the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce, and 620 CKRM.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Saskatoon area, call Kurt at Canadian Timber Homes or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Please, sir, can I have some warmth?
Warmth? You want warmth?
You didn't call Busy Bee, did you? Now it's winter and all the homeless rats are getting in.
I wish they had fixed that door then. It's dreadfully cold.
Go over there and eat your gruel. They gave you more. If rats are getting in your garage, just call Busy Bee. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Please, sir.
Shut up. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
What are you planting this spring? Whatever it is, you'll find the seed you need to give your crops a great start at Lakeside Seeds, your Secan dealer in Wynyard. They carry a complete line of cleaned and certified cereals, peas, and more. Ask about AAC Elida VB Spring Wheat, CDC Bow Malt Barley, and CDC Roland Flax varieties. The best crops and the best yields start with top quality seed from Lakeside Seeds. Call today, 306-554-2078. Lakeside Seeds, your Secan dealer in Wynyard, 2 miles east and 1 mile south of Dafo.
This is Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
Right on. We're back in Melville. CN Center?
The CN Community Center.
CN Community Center. That's Daniel.
You know that by the track.
That's Daniel Hope helping us out here now. He
sneak
pulled
back
him off
here.
the track. He was doing laps. We pulled him out. No, he's the president of the Melville Millionaires. Thanks for taking some time on a game day. So Sharky asked the question, what kind of crowd can we be expecting tonight for Game 3?
Yeah, so we've been watching ticket sales all day here. We're well over 1,000 sold already. So that's not including kids. That's not including volunteers. So I would expect there'll be a pretty good lineup tonight for tickets, and we'll be in that 18. Hopefully we push to 2,000, but on a Tuesday night that probably won't happen. But I'm thinking 18.
It's a playoff game. It's time to be out here,
Totally
regardless
agree.
of the day of the week.
Totally agree.
The weather's fantastic to drive.
Yep.
Drive in from wherever, and then that rivalry. Like, is this matchup from your perspective? And you played in the league, and now in the President's side. Is this a great first round matchup? Would you like to see this maybe round 2 or 3? Or does it matter?
For me, it doesn't matter. I mean, you look at the financial implication as a president, and that's something that we kind of have to take into consideration too. So for this to be a first round matchup, I'd love to see it every single year, to be honest with you. And I mean, the hockey is phenomenal too. Like Game 2, we were there on Sunday night, and as far obviously we don't love the outcome, losing in overtime, blowing a late one, but I mean, it's as far as a hockey game, is a fantastic game. So I think we'll see a lot of the same tonight. It's going to be a fast pace, and these two teams don't like each other, and that's building and it's brewing. So it's been good.
I'm looking forward to watching. I haven't watched an SJ. It's been a couple years since I watched an SJ game. It's great hockey for sure. The other thing I want to ask you, kind of right off the hop, running a junior A franchise in this day and age in 2025. What kind of budget would it be for the Mills?
Yeah, so I mean, it's no secret when you look at anything in the world today, right? With inflation and just the way that the economics are going, it's getting more expensive every single year. So we've taken on our cash lotto as a big fundraiser, so that adds cost because we're paying out $40,000 through that cash lotto. But overall, our budget, when we sit down in the summer and figure it out, it's about $800,000 to $850,000.
Holy smokes!
That's just to stay alive, right? Like we're not just looking to stay relevant, stay alive. We want to be able to push and get better as an organization, and that's kind of been our focal point. So, you're talking 800, 850, but we're looking for 900 to $1 million of revenue so that we can start elevating our organization and becoming a better organization all around.
Wow. So let's talk about this building you're in. How long has this building been up? Tell me a little bit more about it, because from a junior standpoint, and all the things I've seen, it's fantastic.
We're spoiled. We're spoiled rotten. So this, and my dates are bad, but I want to say this first year for this building was 2011. So we've been in it for quite a few years now, and it's amazing. You guys are in for a treat tonight to watch a game in here. It's just the whole atmosphere, everything about it. The seats are comfortable. They're spread out properly. It's a beautiful facility. There's not a bad seat in the house. There truly isn't.
I've watched my son play. I was standing right here. I almost got kicked out. Yeah, the ref. It was,
again.
Yeah, hard out. I was picking at him. No, it's like perfect size. Like you said, you're gonna get if it 1,800 in here. It'll be rocking. What years did you play?
So I played in Melville from 2007 to 2009.
What was your favorite barn to go play into?
Oh. When you think of the SJ, you got to think of Flin Flon going up to the Whitney Forum. I mean, how does it get any better than that? They're literally throwing moose legs on the ice. Not maybe deliberately at you, but I mean, that just the history of that facility, the atmosphere in there too. You think of the SHL, you got to think of the Whitney Forum. But when I played also, I mean, Melville Yorkton had great rivalries. So you go the Gallagher Center it was back then, or the Alga Peterson too in Humboldt. We played against Humboldt in the final in my 20-year-old year. So that barn, there's just some rivalry. They had some really, really good teams. So going in there and competing at a high level with a lot of fans in the stands was a lot of fun.
Tell us about your hockey career after the SJHL. Yeah. How did that work out for you? Where did you end up?
So I was fortunate enough. My first year of junior, I played out in the BCHL, 2 years in Melville, and then I got an opportunity to get a full-ride scholarship to Augustana in the ACAC. So at that time, it was kind of I feel like it's a better known opportunity now for kids, which is great, but maybe a little bit of a hidden gem back then in the ACAC. Fantastic hockey league. And when I got out there too, it seemed like the play just elevated and got better and better every single year. So yeah, super fortunate. Went out there, got a management and business economics degree, played 4 years. We won a championship, the first championship in Augustana in 37 years or something like that. It was pretty crazy, great times. And then came back to Melville to make this my home.
Played a little senior.
I played some senior, yeah, 3 years in.
You got to do that. You got to come back.
We talk senior all the time, man.
It was the most fun, honestly. Going back home after having played junior, having played university, you go home to play with your buddies, and it's more about the camaraderie and making it full circle and being able to give back to your hometown community and playing with all your buddies that you grew up with. Those were they were the best years of my life, truly. Like from a hockey perspective, it was a lot of fun.
Did you have Schneider, Kinger, and Kilgore there? Were they all there at the same time?
My first 3 years in Calvington was just some local guys, and then I ended up in Grenfell for, I want to say it was 5 or 6 years. But yeah, all those guys were there. Kinger, Schneids, Kilgs. We had Metzi. There was a huge Melville Millionaires alum camaraderie down there too. So Alan Killback, Lane Harbor. I mean, the list goes on. And we won some championships in Grenfell too.
It was a good team down there. Yeah, it was a good team.
So Calvington's home?
Calvington is home,
A dumb question. Who's your favorite hockey player growing up?
I loved number 17. That probably answers your question. I mean, it has to be Wendell Clark, right?
Yeah. Do you even have a choice if you grow up?
No, my dad would say I didn't, and it's true. But
we have Benny Walchuk on every week. Kyle McIntyre's a good friend. He's doing amazing things for the league. There was a lot of change this year, and there's probably more change coming with the NCAA announcements and then Major Junior and all that. But the league, the SJHL, it seems like it is in a good spot.
It totally is, and I think right now, you see with the NCAA Division I eligibility, it's just created chaos in the leagues, and I just think it's going to take a little bit of time for people just to kind of realize, the SJHL is not a bad league. It's still a really, really good league, and these kids are going to get amazing opportunities playing here too. So, I just think in time, once those things once the dust settles a little bit, people are going to still be able to look at the SJ and see the talent that there is. And I mean, you're going to see tonight, this is going to be a fast-paced, physical, really, really good hockey game. So, I don't think the SJ is in a bad spot.
No. Sharky always he's on one side of this where he thinks that there could be a time where SJHL and the Junior A ranks are kind of almost a feeder to some WHL teams. Going through it from when you played hockey, when I played hockey, when you coached, to what we could see in the next. Could you see that as a possibility?
I think that there's that possibility, but it's also important to keep kind of that differentiated and separate, right? Like, I mean, we are a Junior A league, not the WHL, so they're going to work in unison because they need to, but they're also very different avenues for kids too, right? So, and if we can keep building on the WHL, why wouldn't we too, right? Like it's going to bring health and longevity, and that's what you're looking at. I think right now you look at the BCHL and it's like the bright lights and shiny, and it's the new toy, and that's going to fade really fast.
Sure.
Right?
Well, it's already faded.
You look at Penticton leaving, you look at Chilliwack they announced. So, I mean, that's going to continue to happen, and I think it's going to continue to bring light to the SJHL and our strengths.
I think so,
without a doubt. No, I think you're exactly right. The BCHL, that shiny bauble, is now dusty and old very, very quickly, and it's going to change where players end.
Well, and some of those Alberta teams, right, they're going to start fishing that went to the BCA maybe to come back and say, hey, Hockey Canada,
we made a mistake. Please take us in.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic league. The national championship, there maybe is some discrepancy in league strength, but you look at when Melfort went last year and how many teams are there. Like, that's a pretty cool tournament when you can have that many teams in a national championship.
You want to talk exposure?
Yeah,
that's where you want to be at, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you can get to that level and playing against those teams, those barns got to be filled with scouts, and they're getting all the exposure that they need. I think that those are the things that we can promote that the BCHL can't.
Yeah.
So tonight, we don't want to single anyone out, but what numbers, what names should we be watching on the Mills?
I think our top line, Perini was out a little bit at the end of the season, and I found in game 1 and 2 he's really found his legs. So we got Simon Perini's center, playing with Jaden Iogan, obviously the Division I commit. He's a dynamic player. Anytime he's on the ice, you're always looking for him to use his legs, use his speed to create opportunities. And then Brendan Olsen on that line too. They're a really dynamic duo. And then we got the young kids. I love watching our young kids, the Preston Bearwalds, the Alex Morrisons. Jackson Lee's not in the lineup tonight, but Nitz is going to get an opportunity to play with them, and they just bring so much energy, and they're just out there competing, and they don't care. Like, they're going into corners. They're not big boys, but they'll go in there with anybody, and it's awesome. It's a lot of fun to watch them play.
That's what coaches love.
Yeah, I love the language you use when you describe them too. That's fantastic. I just want to stay now and watch every minute of those two lines.
President of the Melville Millionaires, Daniel Hope, joining us here. We are live in Melville, getting set. It's 3:40, so we got a little over 3 hours before puck drop. Terriers, Millionaires, Game 3. If you're coming down, it's going to be an awesome one tonight. Let's go to break. It is the Sports Cage, live in Melville on 620 CKRM.
Hi, I'm Carla Beck, leader of the Saskatchewan NDP and MLA for Regina Lakeview. Saskatchewan NDP MLAs are focused on the future. We're pushing to get our world-class products to new markets. That means more rail lines, pipelines, and power lines.
And I'm Brent Blakely, Saskatchewan NDP MLA for Regina Wascana Plains. The Sask Party government's budget cuts education. I'm a teacher, and I know our kids deserve better. It's time to focus on the future. Contact me, 306-584-4404.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Are you wondering where you should market your grain? Look no further. Bridge Agri Partners specializes in the marketing and distribution of premium products that's focused on food and feed. Bridge Agri Partners are buyers of all grades of all pulses, cereal grains, and oilseeds, servicing the pet food, animal feed, and human consumption markets. With over 75 years experience, they can offer top-notch service and adapt to different growers' needs. What are you waiting for? Call 306-850-7999. Bridge Agri Partners.
It'll be take me out to the ball game or take me down to the rink before you know it. And Extreme Hockey and Sport will have you ready for everything this season. You'll be all set for the ball diamond with team kits, bats, gloves, accessories, and training products in stock. And of course, they've got everything to get you geared up for spring hockey. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered. 1425 McIntyre Street and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. They've got everything you need for your projects. 600 Albert Street. PrairieLandRental.com. Welcome back to Sportscage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
That got you excited for tonight's game.
You have to turn me back up.
They can hear us, though.
They can hear.
Blow your eardrums.
My eardrums. There you are. I lost you.
That got you excited for the game tonight.
It did. Very much so. Yeah. I'm looking forward to see those two lines. A little banging and crashing. A little puck movement. Love it. Love it.
I love the fact that there's 1,000 tickets sold and they think they'll get 1,800. And love the walk up. Just love Saskatchewan, man. There's some things that I would trade and other things that I just absolutely love. And one of them is springtime playoff hockey. Doesn't matter
so great.
What level.
No, doesn't matter.
WHL, SJ, AAA, minor hockey.
Doesn't matter.
Senior.
get to the rink.
It's odd. I was in Kenaston.
You said
for game 1 of Round Lake and Kenaston on Sunday. What a job by the organizing committee for the Kenaston Blizzard.
How many did they get in there?
So there was a bunch of tickets that I saw that weren't claimed that were purchased.
Yep.
And I think they were hoping for around 900. Now, don't quote me on these numbers. 936-6262 if you want to chirp. But I would say there's every bit of 750
in that barn,
and it's small. Like, it is ridiculously small. People in the back, I think, that were standing had a really good view of everything. People in the bleachers, and then they added a corner kind of bleacher, but there's no netting. And when they came out for warm-ups, I was standing, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to go inside now. Everybody, I think this section's brought to you by a dentist. Heads up. But they did a great job. The 50-50 was, I want to say, close to between $4,000 and $5,000.
Nice.
And then now that shifts back to the Ochapowace First Nation,
who has a 1-0 lead.
Excellent barn.
Yes.
Hopefully they get a big crowd there Saturday, and it's early. I think it's like a 6:00 puck drop. Yeah, Round Lake looks good. Kenaston's been doing the league thing, winning another league banner, doing the provincial thing.
It can wear you down. It can wear you down big time.
Yeah, and so we have a rash coming up in hour 2. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball. I want to ask Kim about the Ed Hervey. And you know what? Yeah, maybe it's the story that's not going away. But right now, when it comes to there isn't a lot going on. And this guy wanted to... So when Harry was on Friday, I don't know if you caught that episode.
No.
But he said, no, don't retract. Don't retract it. You said what you said. Double down, if anything.
Yeah.
What's your take?
He shouldn't have said anything.
They're poking him.
The words he ended up using were incorrect. What he should have said, or what I would have believed he should have said, was, I appreciate that he thinks he's a superstar. On our team, we don't have him at that particular spot. Right? That's what I would have said to him. Right? But he could have diffused a lot of it by doing that. But he didn't. He said there are no superstars.
I don't know any.
Yeah.
Is the exact verbiage.
Which I think is incorrect. So there are superstars in the Canadian Football League for what it is. They are maybe not Muhammad Ali, but there are superstars within the Canadian Football League.
I'm surprised he threw out Muhammad Ali.
That's a big comparison.
A lot of people don't remember Muhammad Ali, for starters. The Michael Jordan thing, the Magic Johnson, even that's getting old.
Yeah, for lots of people, they wouldn't understand that, but yeah.
He definitely shouldn't have said it. Kind of undermines the league, and that's how a lot of media outlets have portrayed it. Again, Geno Lewis, when he came out, we started this whole rigmarole by interviewing him on the Sportscage, which is great, and he was candid, and it was awesome, and what he said what he said, and he's not retracting.
No,
now he's got to go out and he's got to
live that now. But again, if he'd have stayed with the focus on that one player, I think he'd have been fine. But he did the whole league. That was the problem. If he'd have stayed with Geno Lewis, we don't think he's a superstar, and not on our team. Ed Hervey would have come across a lot better than undoing the whole CFL franchise.
What's your take on the Wob Canoe? Premier of Manitoba. Doesn't even have to go to where you're political.
No, yeah. I don't care which stripe you wear or what color you are. This is petty. He got invited by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to go to the Grey Cup. He jumped on the private plane to go to the Grey Cup. I think they should look at it as a blessing that he didn't have to fly and represent the province of Manitoba at the Grey Cup. He got invited by the team. I think every CFL team should take their premier to the Grey Cup, regardless of where they're going and who they are. I think it's important that he's there representing the province and supporting the team within that province. And I think it's really petty and small. And I don't care which political stripe you are, whichever color did it to whichever color, it was unnecessary and didn't need to be there. And I give Canoe credit for showing up and supporting his province.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who cares?
Exactly. If that's the biggest problem you got today, you don't have any problems.
Or you're jealous.
Yeah, go home and
Very jealous.
Go home and have a rum and coke. Call it a day. Yeah.
I might not. Wob, you got our vote.
Yeah.
Anytime you can hop on a charter bird, take it.
Take it. Exactly.
Huge game in Assiniboia tonight. Pat Canadians, Moose Jaw Warriors. Game 2 of the best of 5. Pat C's win. We'll go to break. We come back. We're going to be joined by head coach of the Moose Jaw squad, Trevor Weisgerber. It is the Sports Cage live. You can hear the Zamboni in the background from the Melville Arena, CN
Community Center. There we go.
Game 3, Millionaires Terriers tonight. We're streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Now till April 2nd, conquer pet hair like a pro with the Maytag Pet Pro System laundry pairs. Get a Maytag 5.8 cubic foot Smart Pet Pro front load washer and 7.4 cubic foot electric dryer for just $26.98. Or get the Maytag 5.4 cubic foot Pet Pro top load washer with 7.4 cubic foot dryer for just $2,098. See in store for details. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
At Nutrien, feeding the future is our purpose. It's what we do every day. We're proud to partner with more than 275 community organizations across Saskatchewan. We invest in education, agricultural research, and initiatives that strengthen the places we call home. As the province's largest private sector employer, we take pride in supporting the next generation joining Saskatchewan's workforce. Because when our communities grow, we all grow. Nutrien, from mine to farm to you. Nutrien.com/future.
Something all drivers have in common? Your vehicle should have a winter inspection. Landry's Napa Auto Pro specializes in full-service inspections. With certified mechanics on site, they handle everything from minor repairs to major overhauls. When you take your vehicle to Landry's service, your car is in the right hands. And quality Napa batteries always have the best prices. Landry's Napa Auto Pro, located on North Winnipeg Street, serving Regina for over 50 years.
Welcome back to Sports Cage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sports Cage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It is definitely hockey time around the province. We've been talking about it. We've been covering as many of the local leagues, championship series as we can. The big one tonight in Assiniboia. The Regina Pats Canadians, Moose Jaw Winmar Warriors, Game 2 at the Southland Co-op Center in Assiniboia. It's always a great night. If you're going to this game, grab some Western Pizza on the way out. Grab a few extra napkins, eat it. The Western Pizza Guest Hotline, thanks for their sponsorship. The Greek favorites you love and the pizza. Let's go out on that Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Head coach of the Moose Jaw Winmar Warriors, Trevor Weisgerber, joining us. Wisey, big one tonight. First off, let's start with the Assiniboia thing. Obviously, the curling in Moose Jaw kicks you guys out or relocates you. Assiniboia just welcomes you guys with open arms?
Yeah, you know what? We're pretty fortunate that they didn't have anything going on here in the rink. So as soon as we had this figured out a little while ago that obviously with the curling, we knew it was coming in this week and then weekend. We weren't going to have our rink. So if everything worked out and we were in the finals, that they set us up down here, and we were pretty fortunate. I mean, they have a fantastic facility, and they've kind of opened up their arms here for us, and it's been real good so far.
Yeah, and if it's anything like they support their senior team or their junior team, or even when Weyburn was in there, they're going to come out in droves as well as your fans coming down the road. For
sure, yeah. I mean, they're expecting it to be sold out here, so we're looking forward to it. Obviously, for the guys, it'll be exciting. And, I mean, it is unfortunate, obviously, that we can't be playing at home. I think Game 5 against Swift, I think we had around 1,800 or something like that, someone said. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and we're looking forward to playing tonight.
You guys had a skate there today, so you kind of have the guys in a hotel and letting them rest all afternoon kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. We thought we'd come in and just kind of get the guys acclimated to the rink a little bit, and so we had a little pregame skate, and we had just a little light lunch, and then we got pregame at the hotel here as well, and then we'll walk over to the rink and we'll get at her tonight.
Wow, first class organization. I like it. Okay, let's go to game 1, 2-1. It's tight. You guys have the lead. Power play goal in the third for them. How do you dissect things in game 1?
You know what? We were fine. I thought for how well we played against Swift, and I thought we were it was scrambly on our end for sure. I thought we turned over a lot of pucks. I thought we took some undisciplined penalties. We still had opportunities to score goals to maybe take that, make that lead a little bigger there early on, especially on the power play late in the first. If we score there, it'd been nice to go up 2-0. But you know what? We were all right. It's tough. Obviously, you give up that goal late on the power play on a bad penalty that we take, and we had opportunities to tie it up late in the game, which, the one bounces over our stick, and then obviously Davy makes some good saves there, and it makes it real tough, right? So, but I hope we'll be more ready to play tonight. Just a couple little changes, and we'll be focused and ready to go here and bring a better effort in game 2.
You must have been happy with the way your goaltender played in game 1, Luke McKechnie, too, because the stat line says he makes 35 saves.
Yeah, you know what? He's been real good. All playoffs, he's been a wall for us, and all season. He's really this year. He's really come into his own. He's just such a great kid and mature for his age, and he's just. He's been a real good leader for us, and obviously having a goalie like that, it's you can't say enough about him, and obviously for our team, he's a huge part of it.
You've been around a lot of hockey and doing the reverse sweep thing and coming back and winning that series. That's really special. It's something that those guys probably don't even know, but they'll remember that forever. Just the momentum from that series and doing that has to be super beneficial going up into this final.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't happen very often. And, for our guys just to stick with it and have our backs against the wall there for 3 straight, and just how we competed, and 2 of them in double overtime. And, it definitely should help us here. Like I said, I thought we were a little, whether it was tired or just a little flat there in game 1. So, hoping tonight that we come out and we have some fire and we can push and definitely get some more opportunities here and win some puck battles and things like that.
And then my last one, isn't it cool because you talk about the crowd you guys get for that last game against Swift, what the crowd was like. I wasn't there, but I saw the pictures in C6, what it's going to be like tonight. Just to see the hype around AAA hockey is pretty cool, isn't it, Wisey?
It is. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And I guess you couldn't write it up any better that it's Regina and Moose Jaw, and just the fans that are coming out, and just for myself, just people that that are just texting and saying good luck and things like that, and just all the people in our community have really jumped on board and really supporting our group. And obviously in Regina too. The rink the other night, I was pretty special for the kids to be able to play in front of that, and just the buzz and the atmosphere and things like that. So like I said, hopefully tonight we can win one at home here and make this a real good series, and it should be fun.
Well, I know how hard it is for coaches to do something like this on game day, so I totally appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing this thing probably go 5 games.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, you probably want to watch the socials, or if you know somebody in town, call them. Better yet, old school style, if you know someone at the hockey rink, call there, see if there's any tickets. Puck drop tonight in Assiniboia is set for 7 o'clock. It's going to be sold out. And how is this for the game Thursday? Allegedly is already sold out back at the C6. Love it. We are the only show that's been covering the Sask Midget U18 AAA League all season. We absolutely love it. It's the Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com on X, and always on the home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
This is 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station. Available everywhere on the CKRM app, Radio Player Canada, and at 620CKRM.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's partly cloudy and it's 4 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with 620 CKRM News. 2 workers were assessed for minor injuries following a fire at the Co-op Refinery complex in Regina. Federated Cooperatives Limited says the blaze has been contained. It says it does not know the cause of the fire and will provide more information once available. Regina Fire and Protective Services says firefighters have been on the site assisting as needed. Nearby homeowners reported being woken up before dawn with what sounded like an explosion, followed by alarm horns. The refinery provides petroleum products to gas retailers in Western Canada. Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement saying a winter storm will hit southern Saskatchewan on Thursday and Friday, bringing heavy snow, strong winds, and freezing rain. Snowfall will begin on early Thursday in western Saskatchewan and will spread east by evening. Areas from Saskatoon to Yorkton could see 10 to 20 centimeters of snow by Friday night. Easterly winds will create blowing snow and poor highway visibility. Freezing rain is also possible along the storm's southern edge, affecting areas from Kindersley to Regina and into southeastern Saskatchewan. Icy roads and reduced visibility will make travel hazardous. The government of Saskatchewan is introducing a provincial sales tax on all vapor products starting on June 1st. The 6% PST will be applied alongside the existing vapor product tax. Deputy Premier and Finance Minister Jim Ryder said the amendment promotes the fair tax administration by ensuring vapor products are taxed similarly to tobacco. The tax is expected to generate $3 million annually, but aims to discourage youth vaping, which poses long-term health risks. Lung Saskatchewan supports the move, calling taxation an effective strategy to reduce youth consumption and promote public health. The Saskatchewan Ethics Commissioner has ruled in favor of Regina South Albert MLA Alina Young in a conflict of interest case. The Sask Party alleged Young promoted her business, Takeaway Gourmet, using her MLA website and government resources. However, Commissioner Maurice Haroff found no breach of the Conflict of Interest Act, accepting Young's testimony that she was simply sharing her personal life with constituents. Although Haroff said Young came close to the line, he ruled that there was no intent to gain from the posts. He urged all MLAs to exercise caution with personal social media content. And reaction continues in Washington and beyond to the news that the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine was accidentally included on a Signal group chat that detailed U.S. plans to strike Houthi rebels in Yemen. The White House has been pushing back on the claims that the information shared on the chat was highly classified. U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, in a meeting with American ambassadors and the U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House today, seemed to place the blame on editor Jeffrey Goldberg, who was accidentally added to the chat.
This journalist, Mr. President, wants the world talking about more hoaxes and this kind of nonsense rather than the freedom that you're enabling. And a key part of our sovereignty is open sea lanes and knocking the crap out of terrorists.
The Atlantic reported that the chat included precise information about weapons packages, targets, and timing, but didn't publish those details. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620CKRM.com. Your weather is next.
You say
move,
and your cows say you tell them
your water is right over there,
and they say you can't convince a cow to move to the water, so move the water to the cows with the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System. With the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water.
The Bellamy Brothers are coming to the Connexus Arts Center Wednesday, April 30th at 7:30 p.m.
Just let your love flow like a mountain stream and let your love grow.
Since the 1970s, the Bellamy Brothers have charted 20 number one singles, 25 top 10s, and more than 50 hits overall on the country charts.
Give me a redneck girl.
The Bellamy Brothers at the Connexus Arts Center, Wednesday, April 30th. Visit connexusartscenter.ca for tickets. See you at the center.
And now your 620 CKRM precision weather forecast for Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, a few clouds with a low of -6. Tomorrow, partly sunny and a high of +3. And on Thursday, developing snow and a high of +1. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's partly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 23 and it's +9. Regina is also partly cloudy. Winds from the northwest at 22 and it's +4. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Give your crop the best chance for success with Power Rich Fertilizer. Here's General Manager Greg Grant.
At Power Rich Fertilizers, we work hard to give customer service to our farmers. We visit your farm to make all the arrangements. All our products are delivered at no extra cost to the farm. Our office helps with making the arrangements for financing through FCC and Scotiabank, saving you a trip to town. Our agronomists are available to provide technical support when you need it. We pick up the phone when you call. Give Power Rich a try this year and let us earn your business.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Live show day. On this Tuesday, Saskatchewan Lotteries. Thank you so much. We are in one of the buildings, and I'm sure Sask Lotteries and all that funding helped out along the
Without
way
a doubt.
somehow, some way. Supporting sport, culture, and recreation in our province. We're in Melville, getting ready for Game 3. Yorkton Terriers, Melville Millionaires. Terriers lead 2-0. Should be a good one tonight. SJHL playoffs, and all of our SJHL reports for Southie Mainline Chrysler and Southie Saskatchewan. Benny Walchuk going to join us in the back half of this hour. One thing we didn't mention, Sharky.
Go ahead.
And actually, I should be checking the Prairie Land Rentals text line when we're on the road. I get a little lax on that. That explosion.
Yeah. A little bit of an incident.
Thank goodness. No, it sounds like a couple people getting treated.
But they seem to be okay. Yep. Nothing serious.
Explosion at the refinery early this morning around 4 a.m.
If you lived in that area of town, the windows shook.
It'd be scary.
It would be
so scary. So luckily, no one really injured from what we heard. So
refinery emergency staff was on hand first. They started working on it, and then Regina Fire Service showed up and helped them out. And glad they got it under control, and everybody went home safe.
We got commissioner of the SJHL texted. He's on his way to this this is the contest he wanted to go to tonight.
Good for him.
Probably making the trek from Swift Current.
Yeah.
Probably ringing us some wongs, knowing the kind of guy he is. I'm actually
Love some
wearing my
wongs.
SJHL hoodie too on the stream here.
I could have worn another jacket. It's chilly in here.
You're in a hockey rink.
Ooh, and maybe a toque.
We are in a hockey rink, my friends. So we'll get to more on the SJ, the WHL, AAA coming up, but it is time. Don't keep them waiting. If you got any questions for them, Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262. Let's talk to Arash Madani.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Arash, you should see this facility we're in here.
I was about to say, this is a heck of a setup you guys have over there. This is outstanding.
Yeah.
CN Community Center.
Nothing but the best for us, Arash.
Yes,
Yep.
it's
Melville.
Carter. Carter set it up, helped some help with the boys back in Regina. And great job. It's got the walking track around, so people are hoofing.
Arash, since we're going to talk baseball today, trivia question for you. Which Major League Baseball player came from Melville, Saskatchewan?
Ooh, I do not know. I'm usually good with these things, but I don't know the Melville connection.
Sorry, I threw a stump at you. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Houston Astros, Terry Poole.
Terry Poole. Wow. I'm looking him up right now.
There you go.
I was going to say Tony Fernandez.
P-U-H-L, not P-O-O, P-U-H-L.
15-year big league career.
Yeah.
In the
from
Astros
Melville,
Hall.
Saskatchewan.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I did not know
trivia?
that.
I could throw a couple others, but we'll leave it at that for now.
Let's we haven't talked Blue Jays with you yet, so let's get going. Opening day for the Blue Jays
it might be one and done.
Is Thursday. It is coming up. Playing Baltimore at home in Toronto. 74-win season. Last place in the AL East for the Jays in 2024. Why is it their year this year, Arash?
Well, I don't know if it's their year. They certainly can't be as bad as they were last. Like last place, 74 wins. Like they play 162 still. Like that hasn't changed. And we're talking about a team, Barney, like they're one of the top payroll teams in the entire American League. It's not like they're a small market. It's not like they're not spending. And they've made a couple of moves, but, yet again this season, they just seem to expect internal improvement. So, yeah, they go get Jimenez from Cleveland. Yeah, they go get Santander from Baltimore, hoping that, Anthony Santander is going to provide a little pop to their lineup. But I expected that this was a team that was going to upgrade its bullpen. I thought they were going to bring in, obviously they're hoping Bichette's going to be healthy this year and have a turnaround. I thought they were going to bring in a little more offensive pop, and they didn't. So they're relying on a veteran, some may say old, pitching staff to get it done for them, and not a lot of change in an offense that hasn't been able to hit for a couple of years.
Jimenez, former Gold Glover in the.
Let me just stop you there. It doesn't sound like Sharky's buying in to their formula here. He's not quite,
I'm not either, but I'm hiding it well.
Right.
I have this is over for me like April 30th. Like the Jays are out of the mix by the end of April.
Yeah, I'm not going there yet because, look, it's such a weird situation because they can't be as bad as last year, but what's their ceiling? How good can they be? Bo Bichette only played half the year last year with injuries and everything else, and he just never got into a rhythm. Bo has to be a little bit better. Is Alejandro Kirk as the everyday catcher? Is he going to be able to catch 120 games for them, 110 games for them? What kind of pop is he going to give from the bat? On and on and on. I get it. I thought they were going to upgrade their pitching staff, like I said, and especially their bullpen. Like we've now reached the point, Sharky, where starters go 5, maybe 6 for the first 2 months of the year. And so your relievers become so important. And, they bring in Jeff Hoffman as their 9th inning guy who's got a ton of questions, namely with health. Other teams said no because of his shoulder. We still don't know what Chad Green's going to be for 162. I understand why there are all these question marks, but I'm not quite ready to fully write them off, 5 weeks into the year. I still think that there's, and especially when you have a front office on the hot seat, and everybody knows they are, a manager on the hot seat, a GM on the hot seat, how willing will they be to go get moves to upgrade early in the season if they need to? I think that's going to be a real interesting kind of piece to this whole conversation.
Well, if you're talking about doing that early in the season, why didn't they go in the offseason and find some of those guys? At least bring in some youth At least go get some younger
You're the guy
guys.
that wants to build hockey teams with older guys.
That's different. That's junior hockey. Don't bring that up. That's not appropriate to this conversation. Right? Why didn't they get some youth so that they could say, hey, we've got some young pitchers and a veteran in the bullpen? Why? Like it just seems to me they did the same. They're hoping for different results from the same work.
Yeah, and I mean the honest answer is, I guess they kind of tried with Juan Soto, but you never got the sense Soto was coming to Toronto. But the other issue in all this is, how do you get out of some of these deals? No one's taking George Springer's contract. No one's going to take that money on. Dalton Varsho, if you're going to trade an asset to go get a little younger, well, Varsho's coming off surgery. He's not going to be ready to, start the season. When is he going to be back? I don't know, 6 weeks in, something like that. I guess Alek Manoah, is he fully ready for a bounce back coming off total struggles and surgery, etc.? Like, that's still a question mark. As good as he was in 2022, it's almost like he's fallen off a cliff since. So I get it. Exactly. I just don't know. This is what happens when you don't have a farm system. They took over, this front office took over 10 years ago, and they said there are going to be wafts of talent coming in. We're going to upgrade the farm system. That lets you have room to maneuver, and it just hasn't happened.
It's not there. No.
Is the Vladimir Guerrero contract situation going to hover over this team all year like I think it will?
Yes. Like, the first day of every series on the road, Boston, Yankees, Mets, insert big name market here, there, everywhere. They're going to roll into Chicago. Everybody's going to ask. And look, even this year at spring training, after Vlad spoke the first day, I think, what was it, a week or two ago, guys? He's doing an on-camera interview in Dunedin at the Blue Jay facility with the logo of the team he's playing for, the Jays, right behind him. He's wearing Blue Jay gear, and he's saying, yeah, at the end of the season, I'm going to talk to 29 teams, including the Yankees. So Mark Shapiro, the president of the team, came out this week and said, or last week said, I'm really confident we're going to get to a deal. Well, until they do, everywhere this team goes, this is going to be as sought after a free agent as baseball is going to have this winter. And so the questions are just going to continue.
I don't know, pun intended, inside baseball. From a somewhat passive watcher and everything, there's no way he's signing.
No,
that ship has sailed.
I think it's gone. Yeah, so, they had their window.
Can you?
I disagree.
You can't move them. Oh, really?
No,
okay.
I disagree. Look, if this is like this, I think this is a fascinating part of this whole discussion, because for the last few years, regardless of what the record was, good, bad, indifferent, that ballpark has been pretty full. They averaged over 30,000 fans last year as a last place team. And that's not going to continue this year. It won't. There are more empty seats, right? There are seats available for opening day. There are seats available for Canada Day. Like, the fact that 2 days out you can get into the ballpark on Thursday is wild when you consider Blue Jays history. So if ownership, if people above Mark Shapiro say, wait a minute, we're not getting the bodies, we're not getting the butts in the seats, we're not getting the revenue. A friend of mine went to spring training. A large can of beer was $17.50. If they're not bringing in that kind of revenue, oh yeah,
come on,
yeah, that's what we're talking about here, guys. Then suddenly, like, no one's going to sell more tickets than Vlad. Nobody. And so if you're not bringing the revenue you thought, maybe there's a way that ownership says, all right, we'll step up. We'll pay that money, even though our baseball people say, the valuation doesn't add up, if that makes any sense.
$17.50. Yikes.
US.
Keg.
US.
For that.
That's a $25 Canadian can.
There's no
That better
way
be
I
a
want to
big
drink
can.
beer that much.
Barney, we'll revisit this in September when I'm in town.
More of them.
What's the bare minimum expectation for the Toronto Blue Jays this year?
Well, they have to. They have to get into the playoffs. There is no there. That is the absolute minimum situation. Look, they have not won a playoff game since 2016. This is like it's reached the point now where it's gotten absurd. So they got to get in. They got to win a game. They've got to make a little bit of noise in October. Because here's the thing, Kevin Gausman, he's up at the end of next year. Chris Bassett, like you're talking about these starting pitchers whose contracts are going to be up. This is put up or shut up time. Because if not now, I think we've had this conversation about other teams before.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills. If not now, when? When? Especially if you're facing the predicament of Bichette and Guerrero potentially being out the door at the end of the year.
Is it enough just to be in the last week, to be battling in the last week? Is it enough to have that last week of the season mean something?
It's a good question, Sharky. I would think not, but I honestly don't know what the measure is for, like, we're talking from a baseball standpoint. What do they have to do? They have to get in. They have to win a playoff game. They have to win a series. But you know, this is still a front office that's been there for 10 years and hasn't won one playoff game. So I don't know what it quote unquote is going to take to keep him or lose him. I do know that a lot of this comes down to they believe in Mark Shapiro. They believe in the renovations he's done. They believe in the direction that he's taken the business. Now, I don't know what that means from a wins and losses standpoint, from an October standpoint. It's a great question. I honestly don't think a lot of people know the true answer to that question.
Because to get in the playoffs is 25 more wins than they had. Like,
right.
That's what you're looking at. A playoff berth is another 25. That's a big number, right?
That's a big.
That's a big number in baseball. 25 more wins.
You need veteran leadership.
You need some veteran leadership for that. Yes. Yeah. You need John Randall.
You know what else you need? You need to be able to hit the baseball. That little detail is going to be really important this year because for a couple of years, they haven't been able to hit the baseball.
Nope.
For a couple of years, their bullpen has let them down. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's circle back on the Blue Jays. It's Arash Madani, Coast to Coast. For Brian Golly, Smart Investing Solutions. You can call Brian 546-2533. Text message in here on the text line from our boy Roscoe. He says, get Arash's take on the Ed Hervey situation. And we were going to ask you anyway. The glasses are coming off. If you're watching the stream, the glasses are coming off.
Man, think about how disrespectful. Like, we can laugh about it, we can joke about it, but think about how disrespectful that is. Like, here's a dude who played in the league for a long time. And, like, I take a lot of issue with how the league is run. I take a lot of issue with how the league has been governed. I take a lot of issue with player safety, the fact that the business side of of the enterprise has not improved. But you cannot criticize the level of play in professional football, and to say there are no superstars is so ignorant. And if anybody should know better, it's a dude who played in that market, has won a championship in that market as a front office executive, and is now back there. It's one thing to try and save your ass for how this whole thing exploded in your face. But to then effectively disrespect and spit on the face of every player in this league, it's just disgusting. It's uncalled for.
Yeah.
It should be a finable offense. And there have been crickets from the league office about this. But if a player had anything to say about the precious little people who govern the operation, how much money is coming out of their pockets and how quickly, publicly, would that be known?
He needs some coaching or some lessons in public speaking and communication. Maybe you could offer a course of Rush. Yeah.
But the problem is you can give all the courses and lessons. The person's got to be willing and want to listen. When's the last time Ed Hervey listened to anybody?
Apparently never.
Yeah. How's that deal in the drawer with Mike Riley going, Ed?
I think that's a fantastic way to end it for today. Great soundbite. Always a pleasure. Let's regroup on Thursday, because that is opening day.
Yeah.
The Tide's first pitch.
Are you going to the park?
I haven't made plans. I might pop over there, actually. We'll see. Actually, no, because if I'm going to come on with 6 o'clock with you guys. By the way, is Terry Poole still in Melville? Do we know?
No, he's not here. No,
he lives down in Houston or something.
I think he stayed in America,
walking in one of the tracks here.
Yeah, he's on the walking track.
Hey, Terry. No. Okay, buddy. We'll have a good couple days. We'll regroup on Thursday.
All right, fellas. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, man.
Arash Madani, Smart Investing Solutions, brings it to you. Brian Gawley, be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley. I was expecting those comments on Ed Hervey. Those guys good.
It was good. Ed's made a big mistake. He really has. And in hindsight, I can tell him all the things he should have said or how he should have handled it. He did it completely wrong. He insulted not only every player on his team, every player on every other team, and every player that's played before. Like, he just slammed everybody all at the same time. So
there's some awesome Rider fans.
Yeah,
there are probably fans in all cities that have already come up with chirps to yell at him from the stands every single game.
You think about some of the players that have played in the Canadian Football League, their longevity, what they accomplished, their victories, their personal accolades. I mean, I hate to bring up Anthony Calvillo because he beat us twice in the Grey Cup, but there's a perfect example of a guy who was truly a star in this league that you could say was a superstar in the Canadian Football League, right?
It's a subjective word, and use it how you want. And again, his exact words were, I don't know any superstars in the league. I think we kind of know what he was getting at there. Are there superstars in the league? Depends who you ask. I would say yes, there is. You ask some young kids that follow,
sure,
they would have a bunch of superstars in the league. AJ Ouellette would be some kid superstar.
Yeah,
Trevor Harris would be.
Brett Lawther to
Dembski.
some kids. Yeah, but again, his comparison then
Rourke
was to Ali, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky. Those are exceptional, beyond superstars in their particular league. But there are some superstars in the Canadian Football League.
We are live in Melville, Saskatchewan at the CN Community Center.
You got it right this time. Canadian National Railway, CNR.
Canadian National Railway. Game 3 tonight, Millionaires and Yorkton Terriers. It's going to be rowdy in here. It's going to be loud.
There are tickets available, but not many.
It is a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
Proven by countless farmers, 900 Series fence sprayers set the standard for your crops, and it's available at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Featuring 370 horsepower, 132-foot boom, 1,580-gallon tank, smart drive 4-wheel steering, and Liquid Logic recirculating boom, the 900 Series fence sprayers are backed by a 3-year, 2,000-hour Gold Star warranty. Leaders drive Fendt. To learn more about making your crops successful, visit Nick's Service today, nickservice.com.
Something all drivers have in common? Your vehicle should have a winter inspection. Landry's Napa Auto Pro specializes in full-service inspections. With certified mechanics on site, they handle everything from minor repairs to major overhauls. When you take your vehicle to Landry's service, your car is in the right hands. And quality Napa batteries always have the best prices. Landry's Napa Auto Pro, located on North Winnipeg Street, serving Regina for over 50 years.
Dinner served.
What's this?
Pizza.
Looks like cardboard.
It is. Cut into a circle.
What?
Hope you're hungry.
You wouldn't order cardboard for dinner, and that's not what you get when you order from Western Pizza.
Think I'll order Western Pizza.
They've got their pizza down to perfection. Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
What did you just ask me?
I don't remember what I asked you.
Something good. It's the Sportscage Live here in Melville.
Clutch Performer.
Yorkton and Melville tonight. We gave the Clutch Performer yesterday to the Yorkton fellas. David Coyle scored the OT winner in Game 2. What a wild game. Hopefully we see another one tonight. I'm going to keep mine super simple today. Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. The city, I think it's a city.
No, it's a town.
Still town?
Still town.
The town of Assiniboia.
Yep.
Give yourselves a pat on the back, a hand, whatever. For just, again, embracing the Moose Jaw AAA Warriors. They don't have a place to play. They definitely can't play at the Burt Hunt in Moose Jaw or out on the base.
The Playmore Palace?
Great, yeah, the Playmore Palace, exactly. A nice concession there, though. They are playing in Assiniboia tonight against the Regina Pats Canadians. Game 2 of the Provincial AAA U18 Championship Series. So Assiniboia, once again, opening their doors, welcoming the team, getting things done. We heard from head coach of the Moose Jaw squad earlier, Trevor Weisgerber. We'll hear from him again in hour 3 if you missed that one. And then my second one.
You got 2. Okay.
Is everybody, fire, safety, first responders, you mentioned it at the refinery.
Everybody got home
today with that explosion at, I think it was around 4 a.m.
Yep.
Scary stuff in the city of Regina. Obviously, most of you, if you've driven in Regina, you know where the refinery is. Explosion there. Sounds like no major injuries, allegedly, from what we're hearing. So those are my 2. Pretty simple today. Clutch Performer. I'm sure we'll have a whack of local ones tomorrow. Maz will, with all the hockey SJ tonight, the AAA game. We'll circle back on that. It is for Nick's Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. You can call 781-1077. Benny Walchuk should be coming by at any moment.
I do not see him.
I don't know how.
He's not doing laps.
This is his hometown. There's got to be some sort of laser show and smoke when he walks, like Kenny Powers, if anyone ever watches Eastbound and Down. Text line 936-6262. Colson message. She said, "Thank God we are alive. We can block people on here and not see what they say." Gary in Winnipeg. Gary, how's it going, bud? Out there, he says the only valid reason for fans to go to a Blue Jay home game is for the $1 hot dog. I have never been to a Blue Jay game in the Sky Dome.
Neither have I. That's one thing I've never done. I've never been to the whatever it's Rogers, whatever.
I call it the Sky Dome.
Yeah.
He says he doubts that they will win 74 games this year. Thanks, Gary.
I agree a little bit with Gary that it's going to be a tough season for the Blue Jays, but to think they're going to win 25 more games and put themselves in a playoff spot, I think is a reach. I would like to see them be in the mix come Labor Day, right? That's just what I want, is if they're in the mix and it's interesting. But if they're at 60 wins come Labor Day, it's a long season in Toronto.
They'll be in the mix at Mother's Day. Does that help?
Well, I think Gary might be right. It could be over by the end of April, too. What was the turning point? The anthem? Yeah.
Jay texted and also said, no way the Blue Jays are winning 25 more games, so you can keep them coming. Prairie Land Rentals and Sales, 600 Albert Street since 1986. If you need anything, it's going to be coming that time with all the yard work and digging and all that. Any kind of rentals, you can go to Prairie Land Rentals and Sales, 600 Albert Street.
And when you get it from there, it works. You can take it home, you can use it, you can bring it back. It's going to work good for you.
Since 1986, they've been helping people out. What else? So SJHL games tonight. Obviously here in Melville, Yorkton's in town. Weyburn up in the Battlefords.
That's a huge one. That's
1-1. That series is 1-1. Cody Mapes against Martin Smith on the coaching side. Flin Flon traveling into the Elgar Peterson Arena, up 2-0 to take on the Broncos. Kindersley. Roscoe, you going to the game? Text us in. What's going on, Roscoe, out there? How many guys you got going? Everybody going to the Red Lion for one before. Melfort's up 2-0. I expect a physical one in Kindersley tonight after watching the sheet of the third period in game 2.
Kindersley has got to do everything they can because they can't go down 3-0 to Melfort. That's too big a hole for them to get out of. Melfort's been too big a wagon. So Kindersley's going to be taking out all the stops. If you're a Clippers fan, tonight's the night to be there. They're going to be giving it everything they got.
SJHL reports always for Southie Mainline Chrysler, New King of Trucks in Southie Saskatchewan. Benny Walchuk is coming up. And then I know people are wondering about the WHL as well. Things don't start there until Friday. Our WHL reports for extreme hockey and sport in Regina and Umbrella Marketing. If you need team kits for maybe your slow pitch team, if you're slow pitch guy or girl, or spring hockey team, Extreme Hockey and Sports, the local company in Regina. PA, Edmonton, Calgary. Saskatoon's got Calgary. That's a tough one.
Yep.
Sharky took PA. Sharky took Calgary. Sharky took the upset. Brandon over Lethbridge in that series.
Yep.
And Medicine Hat and Swift. Medicine Hat, the heavy favorite.
Brandon scored more goals than Lethbridge this year. Brandon's got a little more offense. I like them. I think that if there's an upset to be had, that's it. They weren't that far apart. They're only 3 wins apart in the season.
The heavily powered Everett Silvertips will take on Seattle out west, Tri-City and Victoria, Spokane, Berkeley Cattons boys taking on Vancouver and PG Portland.
Can you
in the Western Hockey League.
Remember talking to the Pats kid Ephraim that was traveling from PG to Portland? Yeah. Like, what was it? Like 14 hours from Prince George to Portland? Oh, that's gross.
That's a haul. Let's get to SJHL report. When we come back from break, we can see he is walking in now, entourage in tow, Benny Walchuk. It is the Sports Cage live from Melville on 620 CKRM.
At Nutrien, feeding the future is our purpose. It's what we do every day. We're proud to partner with more than 275 community organizations across Saskatchewan. We invest in education, agricultural research, and initiatives that strengthen the places we call home. As the province's largest private sector employer, we take pride in supporting the next generation joining Saskatchewan's workforce. Because when our communities grow, we all grow. Nutrien, from mine to farm to you. Nutrien.com/future.
Come join an unforgettable evening at the Regina Red Sox Dinner and Auction on Saturday, April 26th at the Turvey Center. This year's special guest will be Saskatchewan Roughriders head coach Corey Mace and offensive coordinator Mark Mueller. Pre-dinner drinks will start at 6 p.m. and dinners at 7. And don't forget the live and silent auction. Tickets are available at reginaredsox.com. Get your tickets now for the Regina Red Sox Dinner and Auction Saturday, April 26th. And support Regina Red Sox baseball. Presented by Dusick & Barlow Insurance at SGI Canada. Play ball!
Something all drivers have in common? Your vehicle should have a winter inspection. Landry's Napa Auto Pro specializes in full-service inspections. With certified mechanics on site, they handle everything from minor repairs to major overhauls. When you take your vehicle to Landry's service, your car is in the right hands. And quality Napa batteries always have the best prices. Landry's Napa Auto Pro, located on North Winnipeg Street, serving Regina for over 50 years.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League reports with Benny Walchuk on the Sports Cage. The SJHL report is brought to you by Southie Mainline Chrysler, the newest king of trucks. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed.
Yes, that heavy metal music only means one thing. It's time for Benny Walchuk. Right now, it's Southie Mainline Chrysler. They got 2024 inventory, $2,000 off to $16,000 off. The deals are fantastic up there, worth the drive every time, guaranteed. All right, Benny, we're in your home for this one today, Melville.
Nice entourage, by the way. I like that.
Yeah, good job.
Nice entourage.
Good job. Daniel Hope, earlier in hour one, came by and talked. He said about 1,000 tickets sold for tonight. He figures with kids and everybody, that we get about 1,800 in here.
Yeah, I think it seats just over 1,500. Plus, a lot of people stand around that far corner, which is the beer gardens, of course, the bar area. We actually have a second bar over there set up over there too, so to accommodate. But yeah, it should be around that total. I think first game in Yorkton was just over 2,000, 2,005, and then about 1,700 on Sunday. So these communities support each other. It's a beautiful day out there. I'm sure a lot of people have thought about maybe not coming out with the weather now. They might going to make the trip up. So it should be a great atmosphere here.
Well, because Melville's just down the road.
Yeah.
They don't have to do a fan bus thing. You just kind of load up the station wagon or the truck.
Like probably some 12 or 15 passenger vans, maybe. Imagine make the trip from Yorkton. So
got to be a couple of party buses down there making the drive.
Maybe some limos, or if there's in Yorkton. But yeah, I'm sure that's happening. Even though it's a Tuesday night, so you got a lot of maybe farmers out there that's maybe can take the day off tomorrow.
What's a limo out of Yorkton to Melville? What do you think that would look like?
There's guys that took a limo bus from Yorkton to Kenora.
Yep.
When we were there for Hockey Night Saskatchewan. And those guys were getting after it. They were a lot of fun. Pedal down. So games 1 and 2 in this series. Could it be 2-0 Melville quite easily?
Yeah, it could be. It could be 1-1 for sure.
Yeah.
Like Friday night was a good outing, and then Millionaires kind of gave up some quick goals and had some chances to make it a game, but just couldn't quite get it Friday. Then Sunday was a wild game. I've been a part of a lot of them. That was a wild one. Millionaires got up to 3-1 lead, tie things up 3-3, or made it 4-2, and then Terriers tie things up, make it 4-4. Then Mill scored with 47 seconds left, and a lot of people went, like a lot of Terrier fans left the building because they thought it was over. And then they got a face-off deep with about 11 seconds left. And just you talk about mistakes in the playoffs, and just a little bit of a mistake defensively out the draw for the Millionaires. And I let Tay Schofer in front, and he tapped home the winner with 4.7 seconds left. So, and then in overtime, it's either side. I'm sure the Millionaire fans don't think it's a penalty, and the Terrier fans think it's a penalty in overtime. But it was a high-sticking penalty, so it's one of those things that have to be called in the extra period. And David Coyle had 2 chances. David had a great second half. He had 32 goals during the regular season. He made no mistake going bar down, and a lot of people are saying was it offside, but it was onside. It was a good goal, and it was a great. I hear from both sides. Being from
sure you do.
Yorkton, so I get it both ways, and I have to look at the video and make sure I get my facts right. But it was a great hockey game. Millionaires definitely disappointed. They're 4 seconds away from taking a 1-1 series advantage here and going back home for games 3 and 4, which have been great. But still, they're on home ice, but they've been very good at here this season. And still, I know Doug's saying a lot of teams have came back from 2-0 down, and they have a belief in that room still.
What do you think is going to happen different in this game tonight? What do you expect different from the Millionaires going into game?
I think a little bit better defensively. I know Yorkton Terriers and discipline-wise, like they take a lot of penalties. They took a lot of penalties, like key penalties in game 2, and they have to stay disciplined, and they just have to be kind of attention to detail a little bit more. And with Doug's been along a long time. He's going to be preaching, and I think they'll be much more defensive, which might hinder though offensively. They scored 5 goals on Sunday, which is great for them. So maybe that'll hinder them eventually. But I think it has to be, if the Millionaires are going to win, have to be like a 2-1 game tonight.
Will the last change be a factor?
I think it might. Yeah, Millionaires got a decor. They want to match up. I think the top lines are both. Coaching staffs want to play their top lines against each other, so I don't think that'll be much. But I think it's the defensive core and playing against that top unit with Jaron Denway and David Coyle, the Terriers. So I'm sure Doug's going to want that last change to get the right matchups it is. So I think maybe not as big of a factor, especially with the 2 top lines matching up. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
So this series 2-0 Yorkton, but really tight. We talked about that last week. The other series that we both talked about and agreed it was going to be tight was Weyburn and Battleford. What's the feedback you're getting on that series as they go back to Battleford?
Yeah, Weyburn. I think Angelo Zoll had maybe an off game in game 2. Justin Merrick, who's had some time in the Western Hockey League, was very good in game 2 for Battlefords. And their team, I know their coach is gone, Braden Klamosko, and a few guys are out, but they still have a lot of championship experience and they know how to win there. So, and they have we talked about Nikita Avashenko, who's very, very good, a Ukrainian that played at the World Juniors, I think Tier 2 tournament. So he's very good, and that was a big win for Battlefords on the road. So it's they go back home, and it's kind of a hostile. I know you guys have been in Battlefords. It's kind of like the old Melville Stadium. They got the bench seating around, and it's got a bowl, and it's kind of a little bit of an older barn. So I think they use that to their advantage. So it's a great atmosphere there, and I think Weyburn needs to win this game. I think game number 3 to have a chance to even things up headed back home, because if Battleford can get game 3 and maybe possibly game 4, you head back to Weyburn, and Weyburn's on their toes. A lot of pressure on this Weyburn team. They're divisional champions. This is kind of their year to do things. So if Battleford can continue to put the pressure on, it might be in trouble.
I accidentally stuck the goalie from Shellbrook in the throat in like Adam hockey and Battleford and got kicked out. That's what I really remember. But that ring seems so big when you're an Adam.
Yes,
like it's like the bold. And they had all the SJ
banners,
team logos on there. It's very cool. Melford and Kindersley got a little dusty.
It did. Yeah, the Kindersley's got to keep that close, like low scoring. Like their goaltending you look at their stat, goaltending played pretty good, but Melford just has so much firepower, and then especially just like Yorkton, their power play is good. So you're getting back home. I know Kindersley made a lot of. They almost had those bench seating, but they actually have a brand new like seats in there. It's a really nice atmosphere there at the Interpipeline Arena. So I think Kindersley could sneak one out at home. I'm not sure if they're going to win the series, but I think they still can sneak one at home. But the Melford team is very good.
So when we talked earlier, we talked about Flin Flon and Humboldt being a goaltender series. Yeah. Obviously, for Flin Flon, it was with the shutout in Game 2. Humboldt's got to get some big goaltending tonight if they want to get back in the mix of this.
Yeah, exactly. Daza Mitchell, who's proved that he can do it. He acquired from Weyburn, where he almost beat Humboldt last year in the playoffs. So he's got to be better than he has been the first 2 games. And Jacob Stritzy, who's one of their leading scorers in the SJHL, he has to kind of get his game going. I know watching that game online on Saturday, his tempers got a little bit more, and he took a 10-minute misconduct. So you can't have him out of the lineup for that long in a game. So those guys got to get going, because it's tough. Braden's came in there as his first year back in Humboldt, but it's not really his roster. He's made some changes as the season goes on, so he's still trying to find a way. But if I'm going to bet against a coach in the SJHL playoffs, it's probably not going to be Braden Klamoska, who's won 3 of the last 4 SJHL Coach of the Year, and he's won a number of SJHL titles. So they're turning back home. That's another older barn there in Humboldt. You're kind of in that bowl, which you're right on top of you at the Elger Peterson Arena. So I think that's the series that could go 2-2 as well, but just like this one could. So it's one of those things. But they do need good goaltending, and you need Daza Mitch to steal game.
It's the SJHL Report. Benny Walchuk joining us live here in Melville for Southie Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks. I'm going to shift to senior hockey here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Pretty special, possibly Saturday on the Ochapowace First Nation, as Round Lake has a chance to seal the deal, win the Provincial A banner against Kenaston. I was at the game in Kenaston. Kenaston really good in the first. Could have went either way. But Round Lake is deep. What was Zach Fisher?
Zach Fisher.
First game he's played for them, comes out, and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting place, signing a guy like that hasn't played. Scores like a minute and a half in.
Yeah.
And a force. It'll be pretty special, though, if they can hang that banner.
For sure. Yeah. Like I think with Kenaston, they've played a lot of hockey. Like they played league, and it gets to them. I know, talking to the Foam Lake guys, they got to play this weekend for league playoffs, and they're still recovering from Wilkie winning the championship. I was talking to their coach today. He's like, Benny, you better call me tomorrow. This was yesterday. You better call me tomorrow. I'm still kind of recovering.
You've been there.
Yeah, I know that drill.
So like I even talked to Zach Zadorozniak, who I'm going to have on the broadcast. He's a former Terrier, won the RBC Cup back in 2014, and he says, yeah, Benny, we just got nice to have a kind of a week to see our kids and see the wife and get some work stuff done and go. But Ochap, like Round Lake, it's gonna be a great special for that community if they're able to do it on home ice. But it's a team that's come together. They've kind of taken the Indigenous community in Saskatchewan and put everybody behind. But they've been great. They've had great crowds in each of the buildings they play. They've kind of livened up senior hockey even more here this season. So it's great to see. I know a lot of individuals, Caleb Gervais, Jaden Isaac, and so on and so forth on that squad. So it's great to see. But Kenaston's been very good. They've won a lot of provincial championships and got a ton of experience there. So I think it's still going to be a very, very good showing for Kenaston. It's going to be a good game.
Just depends how beat up they'll be after going. Would they go like 8 games with Kyle, like league and provincials?
Gervais, to your point, looked good.
Yeah.
Their back end, Stanton, NHL.
Keenan Ellerby is pretty steady back there.
Yeah, and keeper.
Yeah, Brady Keeper is unbelievable. Yeah.
And then Bacala and net is really good. Kate, last question before we let you go. Who had the bigger party, Foam Lake or Kenora?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Kenora had to go from Rocanville to Kenora, so that was not bad. And actually, I'm gonna throw him under the bus here. Actually, our ice maker here in Melville, Carson Dennis, he plays with Kenora. Oh, yeah. He had to come back and had to get a ride back from Kenora to do the ice on Sunday morning. So
good job.
I'm not sure what kind of shape he had to curl in the open bonspiel, but so that's been a party. They're still going to go on, but that's a tough one. Foam Lake. So what I've been told, they had their refreshments and celebrated in Wilkie until about 1:30 in the morning and said, hey, we better get back to Saskatoon because if they would have lost, they would have played the next day in Wilkie. So they had a lot of guys live in Saskatoon and some hotels. So they had to go back to Saskatoon. They got there about 3:00. And then I think yesterday they had another get together in Foam Lake. So,
nice.
and of course their coach owns the bar in Foam Lake. So,
That's good.
But it's good. Like, I seen some post on Twitter about Redvers winning their first game and that league title. It's all about senior hockey and family. Like, it's Indigenous community with their family. I know there's been an argument about that, but it's senior hockey's family. Like, these players can't play without their wives and their kids and their work and having support behind them. So it's an entire community. And for Foam Lake winning their first title in 77 years, which is incredible for that community.
Well, that's outstanding.
So much tradition. You got Bernie Federico, you got Dennis Polonage, you got Pat Elenick, a lot of tradition there for NHLers in Foam Lake. And and Kenora as well. Like, Kenora, that just livens up a community. I know there has been talks. I know it's like Grenfell didn't have a team this year, and you talk to some locals in Grenfell, it was so much different. Like, you didn't see people you saw every weekend at the rink, and there has been rumblings that Kenora or Grenfell is going to be back next year. So that's that, which is going to be great. So it's great for small towns and across Saskatchewan, and just what makes senior hockey special across Saskatchewan is the community spirit and some competitiveness too.
But Foam Lake might have to erect a Brett Pepler statue.
Brett, I'm sure he was the biggest celebrator of those.
Still ticking. Awesome, Benny. All right, well, have a good call. Thanks for joining us live here today in Melville. It is Game 3 of the Millionaires Terriers tonight. We are here live on the Sportscage, 620 CKRM.
It's the start of a new year. Time to get financially fit. If you're looking to open an RRSP or a TFSA, maximize an existing account, or update your investment mix, Cooperators can provide the personalized advice and service you need. Want to start the new year on the right financial foot? Contact your local advisor to build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Hi, I'm Carla Beck, leader of the Saskatchewan NDP and MLA for Regina Lakeview. Saskatchewan NDP MLAs are focused on the future. We're pushing to get our world-class products to new markets. That means more rail lines, pipelines, and power lines.
And I'm Jared Clark, NDP MLA for Regina Walsh Acres. The Sask Party government's budget cuts health care and education and offers no plan for tariffs. It's time to build up Saskatchewan and Canada. It's time to focus on the future. Contact me, 306-352-8754.
Something all drivers have in common? Your vehicle should have a winter inspection. Landry's Napa Auto Pro specializes in full-service inspections. With certified mechanics on site, they handle everything from minor repairs to major overhauls. When you take your vehicle to Landry's service, your car is in the right hands. And quality Napa batteries always have the best prices. Landry's Napa Auto Pro, located on North Winnipeg Street, serving Regina for over 50 years.
This is Country Gold with Steve Harmon, your home for the country hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Hello, I'm Steve Harmon, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week we play country favorites from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and we check in with the stars who made them, too. This weekend on Country Gold.
Country Gold, brought to you by Trent Dickin and his experienced team at Flooring Superstore. Saturday mornings at 6 and Sunday afternoons at 4 on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
I'm standing for Canada. Hi, this is Haley Wickenheiser, and I'm proud to be representing my country again. Every time I go shopping, let's support Canadian companies and buy products made in Canada. You'll be protecting Canadian jobs and Canadian business, kind of like standing on a podium while they play our anthem. Shop as if your country depends on it, because it does. Keep your money in Canada, for Canada.
The 620 CKRM Country Corner is brought to you by Glasses TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, and Foster's Audio Video in Carlisle. Get the newest cell phone today with an amazing SaskTel rate plan.
The BKT World Men's Curling Championship kicks off this Saturday in Moose Jaw. Brad Jacobs and Team Canada will be going head-to-head against the world's best. Be a part of the exciting action at sasktix.ca. The First Nations University of Canada invites you to their Spring Celebration Powwow, April 19th and 20th at the Brandt Centre in Regina. Full details at fnunivpowwow.ca. Don't miss your chance to see the one and only Shania Twain, July 7th in Moose Jaw. She'll be at the Temple Garden Center with special guest Lindsay L. Grab your tickets at sasktix.ca. And spend your Saturdays with the Symphony. The Regina Symphony Orchestra has exciting and fun events planned over the coming months. Explore the full concert list at reginasymphony.com.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
All right, let's go through a little rundown and the ticker on what's coming up. We talked about it. Yorkton Melville here tonight. SJHL, Weyburn traveling into the Battlefords. Flin Flon makes the trek into Humboldt. Kindersley welcoming Melfort. No WHL tonight. AAA. Pat Canadians, Moose Jaw. Pat sees up 1-0 in Assiniboia.
Yep.
They're expecting about 1,800.
They're expecting a full house down there. Yep.
Tickets will be available, so don't shy away.
They'll pry you in. They'll fit you. They'll shoehorn you in somewhere.
Trevor Weisgerber, we had him in hour 1. We're going to replay that in hour 3 for anyone that missed it. Head coach of Moose Jaw. He texted, said we're not turning anyone away. Now I'm sure if 1,000 people show up, they'll have
fire marshal might have a different opinion.
Full, but that's going to be a great one tonight there. And then Prairie Junior Hockey League, Fort Knox is awaiting the winner of Delisle and the Saskatoon Wesleys. Wesleys have a chance to wrap it up against Delisle tonight up there. So that's your ticker for what's going on tonight. Quickly, how much time do we have?
No senior action?
I wanted to get your take on the WHL expansion.
First off, I don't think we're done. That would be my first comment to it. The trickle-down effect of the NCAA decision has affected that BC Hockey League more than any league, and that's why Penticton and now Chilliwack are going, because there's nothing special about that BC League anymore because those players can play anywhere. So Penticton makes a move. Chilliwack's coming the year after. I would expect there's more teams coming, whether they're out of the BC League or those Alberta teams that left. Like, where's Brooks going to go, right? Like, I could see that happening. There's going to be some applications from some other cities.
Would Brooks have to pay territorial cash to Medicine Hat or to Calgary?
Medicine Hat would be my guess. Yes.
Because that went Penticton's at like 15 schmil. And I can't remember how much
they had to pay Kelowna
a whack. And it was just like, don't worry about it, dude. You want us to e-transfer? Like, they got lots of money.
Yeah, and I don't know who owns Brooks, whether it's the town or whatever, or the private owner or the meatpacking plant or whoever it might be. But I can see there's other communities that are going to be in that boat. I like the move. It adds 2 more teams. I think the East now needs another team. Where's that going to be? I think there's a possibility, even a team in the SJ that's maybe in a bigger center. And I'm not saying anybody's going to do this, whether it's Yorkton or whether it's Battleford, right?
Oh, buddy.
I know. I'm just throwing out stories. Flin Flon, Weyburn, and Estevan were all in the Western Hockey League at one time.
People at Swift Current are cursing your name right now. You know how hard it is to run a WHL franchise in a small center. Now, these Chilliwacks and these Pentictons,
there's more money.
Deep pocket. Mike Richter jumps in, who is Shifley. Isn't he one of the other owners?
Not Mark, but another Shifley. I thought it was a different Shifley. But yeah, Mike Richter jump in with that group. But I do think there's more expansion coming. I do think there's going to be more communities think that is a way to go rather than stay in that BC League.
Right away, people go. And a lot of people. Gary from Winnipeg, I know you're listening because you texted in already. People right away go, Winnipeg. It's like, it didn't work. It wasn't that easy. They didn't have a rink.
They didn't have a rink
for starters, which is
what Winnipeg needed was to play where the Moose and the Jets play.
So you got the AHL team, right?
Yeah. But I mean, they've got that in Calgary. All three play in the same barn, right? I could see it in Edmonton shortly, right?
Oh man, I don't know.
Right? But I think it's a good move. The Penticton Vs and Chilliwack, whatever they are, coming back in the league. They used to be the old Chilliwack Bruins, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, they ducked out to Victoria.
Exactly. Yeah. So
recent time.
I think it's positive, and I think you're going to see more of it.
Glenn Suter is back from Europe. We will chat with him to start hour 3. It is the Sports Cage. The fellas are starting to hoot and holler. We're getting ready for Game 3 tonight between the Millionaires and Terriers. We're live streaming sportscage.com as always. We're on the home of sports in Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
From the towers to the tractors, country's greatest hits. 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. It's partly cloudy and it's 4 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Capel. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. A major winter storm will sweep across southern Saskatchewan on Thursday and Friday, bringing snow, wind, and ice. Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement in advance of the forecast storm. Snowfall will begin early Thursday in western Saskatchewan and spread east towards the Manitoba border by evening. Areas from Saskatoon to Yorkton could get 10 to 20 centimeters of snow by Friday night. Strong easterly winds will create blowing snow, reducing visibility. A band of freezing rain may also form near Kindersley and move east through Regina and into southeastern Saskatchewan, making travel slippery and dangerous. The three main party leaders hit the federal election campaign trail today. As a new poll suggests, almost half of Canadians surveyed think the Liberals will win the election. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh spoke at a campaign stop in Toronto, saying that there are massive challenges ahead for his party. The survey conducted by Leger for the Canadian Press found 44% of decided voters surveyed say that they would vote Liberal in the upcoming election, followed by the Conservatives at 38%, and the NDP are a distant third place at 6%. In mid-January, a Leger poll found the Conservatives led the Liberals by more than 25 points. Since Mark Carney won the Liberal leadership race on March 9th, support for the party has increased. Voters head to the polls on April 28th. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is pledging to eliminate the GST on purchases of new homes for up to $1.3 million if he wins the federal election. The announcement expands on a plan the Conservatives proposed in October to eliminate the GST on new homes sold for under $1 million. Poilievre says the move would save homebuyers up to $65,000 on the purchase of a new home.
We will axe the tax so that every Canadian can buy a new home tax-free.
Poilievre's move to sweeten his promise comes a few days after Liberal leader Mark Carney said his government would also eliminate the GST for first-time homebuyers on homes at or under $1 million. A new poll shows that Newfoundland and Labrador's premier has the highest approval rating among all provincial leaders. Andrew Furey's approval rating stands at 68%, exactly a month after he announced that he would be stepping away from public life. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt was in third place at 60%, behind Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew. Meanwhile, Scott Moe ranked 7th with a 49% approval rating. And the Saskatchewan government says this year's Indigenous Business Gathering in Saskatoon saw its largest turnout in 4 years. The event had 1,100 people sign up and more than 130 trade show booths. Trade Minister Borden Kading says collaboration between Indigenous and non-Indigenous businesses is crucial for future growth and success. In the fourth quarter of last year, 4.7% of Saskatchewan's private businesses were majority owned by Indigenous peoples. It's 5:03, and that's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Oh, finally, there it is.
Oh, did you order pizza?
No, even better. I called Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Oh, so what'd you order?
Well, they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features and so many great plans, man.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it is the pizza guy. Hey, guy.
Tell him to go away. We're waiting on Echo Sound.
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Quipel. EchoSound.ca.
We'll still take the pizza, though.
The Bellamy Brothers are coming to the Connexus Arts Center Wednesday, April 30th at 7:30 p.m. Since the 1970s, the Bellamy Brothers have charted 20 number one singles, 25 top 10s, and more than 50 hits overall on the country charts. Give me a redneck girl. The Bellamy Brothers at the Connexus Arts Center, Wednesday, April 30th. Visit connexusartscenter.ca for tickets. See you at the center.
And now it's time for your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast for Line X Regina and for Mance Furniture. Visit mancefurniture.ca. Now, here is your Precision Weather meteorologist, Steve Adamson.
The weather pattern is fairly quiet over the course of tonight and tomorrow, but it does look to turn somewhat more active for the latter part of the week, as a storm system looks to bring the opportunity for some snow and possible mixed precipitation come Thursday and into Friday. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, the low temperature near -6. Wednesday, a mostly cloudy day overall, the high temperature up to 4. Wednesday night, partly to mostly cloudy skies, the low temperature near -3. Thursday, look for snow and possibly mixed precipitation developing along with a brisk breeze. The high temperature near 1, 80% chance of snow and mixed precipitation. Friday, cloudy with flurries and snow showers at times. 60% chance, the high near -4. And for Saturday, staying mainly cloudy, chance for a few flurries, the high temperature about -5. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather Meteorologist Steve Adamson.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is 5, Swift Current is 10, Assiniboia 11, Broadview Moosomin 3, Yorkton Melville 2, Estevan 5, and Weyburn is 8. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's partly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 23, and it's 9 degrees. Regina is also partly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 14, and it's 4 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Now till April 2nd, conquer pet hair like a pro with the Maytag Pet Pro System laundry pairs. Get a Maytag 5.8 cubic foot Smart Pet Pro front load washer and 7.4 cubic foot electric dryer for just $26.98. Or get the Maytag 5.4 cubic foot Pet Pro top load washer with 7.4 cubic foot dryer for just $2,098. See in store for details. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Back at the CN Community. On the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals and Sales since 1986. 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. Sharky, it's been a good show so far in hour 3
Been a great
here.
show.
Glenn Suter is standing by. We'll have suits. We're going to touch on a few things locally around the province. And then if you missed the interviews with Daniel Hope, president of the Melville Millionaires, we'll be rerunning that, as well as AAA coach from Moose Jaw, Trevor Weisgerber. And Benny said former Yorkton Terrier.
Yes.
Could have asked him about that.
Yep.
We interviewed them. Yeah, they got a big one against the Pats tonight. So lots of hockey. We got it covered on the local front. That's what we do here. But let's go check in on our fella who is fresh off the plane, kind of, from Europe.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glenn Suter on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
There we are. We see him now. Glenn Suter. How you doing?
Gentlemen, how are you? So here's what I've learned about Europe. First trip over to Europe. I'm back now. Here's what I've learned. Okay. First of all, way less governing than here in Canada. And if you guys have been there, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you can be on a road in any one of these European cities, and there's cars flying by on these cobblestone roads. They're super narrow. People are walking on them. There's motorcycles weaving in and out. People park their cars on the side of the road in both directions. So if it's one way going one way, you see cars parked the other way. And yet it works. Like, there's no guy walking around giving traffic tickets out. There's no parking meters. And no one gets run over. It was great. Like, I remember walking along the side of a path in Scotland, and we were going into a castle, and you're 200 feet above the ocean, and there's a sign there that just said, there's no railing. It's cobblestone. It's uneven. And you have a path that's maybe 2 feet wide. And there's a sign there that says, keep your kids under control. This is a long drop if you fall. And I'm thinking, this is what, this is basically governments in these countries in Europe telling people, listen, use your common sense. You're an adult. We're not going to over-govern you. You'll die if you fall off of this side of this mountain. So, and the last thing, and I searched, guys, and I don't like getting political, but I could not find one person that likes Mark Carney in the UK. Not one person.
That's the story. Yeah, he's very unpopular over there on the island. Yes.
I don't.
Very unpopular, but
I want to, but I don't. Kate, did you make your way? You made your way to St. Andrews, didn't you?
Oh my! And thank you for I got you a little something. I'll get it to you when when we get together in Regina this year. But I'm so glad I went out there. Couple things. One is, wow. I mean, just the spectacular view in the ocean and the waves coming off the wind in there, and the beautiful condition that course is in. And you walk out there and you can almost picture Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods, making his shot on that wide open, huge green on the 18th. That's the famous bridge that we were taking pictures on. And amazing, Barney, you told me this, but I really honestly didn't believe you, but you can go out there in between guys on the tee box hitting. So you have to wait till they all hit. And then there's a lineup of people that hustle out to the bridge, take their pictures, and hustle off. And that picture, if you're watching the podcast, that picture to the left, I don't know if this is a rule or there was a guy playing golf with his dog, going the 18 holes with him. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. Where golf was invented, you can bring your dog on the course and go play 18 with your dog along the way. I loved it, man. It was. Yeah. I'm so glad I went.
It reminds me of one of the second trip there, and one of the rounds we played. there was a Japanese tourist.
Yeah.
And you could tell they were very wealthy. And the one lady had her dog with her for the whole round of golf.
I'd have to have mine on its leash. It would go get the ball all the time, bring it back to me.
Your dog would have went and chewed this lady's dog. And then we would have had a national incident. No, but I'm so glad you got to go and just the home of golf and just everything that's there. Did you have a pint? Did you find the Dunvegan pub?
We went right to it's right by the clubhouse, to the right by the sea, like right by the ocean there. And we went and ate. Yeah, we went and ate in that restaurant. And wow, fantastic. Food was great. The guy was explaining all the different holes, our waiter, and where they go. Like there's like 10 courses or something out there in different ways. And I love the way it's open to the public. Like there's a little putting area where there were maybe 30, 40 kids. Now you mentioned people having money. I asked the waiter, I said, how much would it cost me to go out and play around golf right now? And he said, well, it's the winter. So, about 200 pounds. Now we're about half. So you have to double it for us in the conversion. That's a $400 round in the winter. Now it was nice weather. I said, okay, what is it in the summer? He goes, yeah, you're looking at about $800. And I
Ouch!
I'm glad I played it when I did.
Ouch! That's a big number.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, there is the Himalayas is what you're talking about, where the putting green is.
I have a question for you, Suits. Before we get into anything too serious, you've had this amazing adventure through Europe and historical aspect. I could talk to you about all day. What was the low light? What was the thing you would tell somebody not to do or to look out for?
Well, I would say that London is still, just a really big city. So if go to the things you need to see, like you got to go to, all the historic sites and things, and their government buildings and the castles and all that stuff. But, once you do the tourist thing in London, you're in the middle of a really big city. And I like New York and I liked London, but I'm not a big city guy. So I'm good in New York for 3-4 days and that's it. Like I gotta kind of get out. It's too people-y for me at that point. But boy, there was a lot of things I strongly recommend. Normandy was one. We've talked about that, but I think if every G7 meeting by the leaders of countries around the world went to Normandy for a day and went to the cemeteries first and then had their meetings the next day, maybe they would have a better perspective in some of these meetings, because that is just an emotional roller coaster. I really liked in Europe how they lean into and cherish their history and their heroes. And whether it's World War II heroes or, going even back further to the Roman Empire and William Wallace, who we went through his momentum in Scotland. And, there was some guys in history that did some really bad things, some ugly things, but they don't ignore that part of it. They celebrate the parts that they did well, that the things that they did that, to liberate the country, not the things that they didn't do. And they don't try to get rid of it. And they cherish their history. And I thought it was very patriotic. And by the way, they love Canadians. I did not meet one person there that didn't love Canadians. And believe me, I was leading with that. Hi, we're Canadian. Not,
Good for you, Suits. Good for you. I love it.
It's like
I love it.
It's like all the commercials that are running right now.
Yeah.
It's like and now everyone's worried about Canadian jobs and everything. It's like, where you guys been the last 10 years? Elbows up.
Yeah.
Surprise. Yeah. We've been in this situation. Anyway, let's get on to CFL football here.
Yeah.
You're back on this this side of the ocean now. It sounds like they've hired a commissioner They haven't come out and said it. I thought maybe right at the combine, right after the combine, they would have. Have you heard anybody?
Is it you?
Is it you?
No, it's not me. And it's really flattering that you guys bring up my name and things. And I have other fans that go on Twitter and things and also say that. And I appreciate that. But, there's more qualified people to do this. And I think these owners, first of all, I have a lot of respect for them. So I'm really interested to hear who it will be. I don't know at this point, but who it will be, and really what is their angle of expertise? Because this Ed Hervey thing, guys, that has just happened. I've said many times that one of the things I hope the new commissioner is on top of is messaging, and I know people kind of blow that off as sort of, yeah, well, that's common sense, and we should say good things about the league. But it should be more detailed than that, and the little things matter. The Ed Hervey comment is a great example of my point of not understanding messaging. First of all, it wasn't smart to say. Secondly, it was factually incorrect and the wrong thing to do and say, because it's actually wrong. And then his explanation of it became even worse when he said, well, I just talked about I was saying popular icons like Muhammad Ali or Michael Jordan, because they're so popular, that's what makes them a superstar. Well, Donald Trump's, everyone knows who he is, and I don't think he would be a superstar in many people's eyes. So, like I don't think being popular or having everyone know who you are is necessarily the superstar category. Superstar, our league in the CFL has world-class athletes, football players at a level that you will see, the highest level that you will see anywhere in the world, and that includes the NFL. And I've said it many, many times. I played with NFL Pro Bowlers. I played against NFL Pro Bowlers in Canada. I covered a guy that rushed for 1,800 yards in the NFL, then came up here, rushed for 650 in 16 games, and then went back and led the league in rushing. Ricky Williams. So, I just, and again, I don't like to get into these debates with people about who's the better league and who, it's silly. It's a hamster wheel. But my point is that Ed Hervey's, that's a big mistake. I don't want to cancel Ed Hervey, whatever. He misspoke. It wasn't factually right. But the point is that whoever the new commissioner's got to be has got to understand that we need to start messaging and understand that what we say matters. Fans are looking at guys like us for leadership in what these athletes are. What are you watching when you buy a ticket to a CFL game? What are you seeing? Well, you're seeing a world-class athlete, and we need to start saying it over and over and over again, and pointing out reasons why and explaining why. Not because fans don't understand, but because they're looking to us. If we keep saying, well, they're good, but they're not as good as this, or, well, they're okay, but they're... No. First of all, it's not true. Secondly, it's poor messaging. And messaging is the first step to gaining popularity.
It's amazing that I think of Chad Okocinco, or whatever name we want to use for him, has a better message about players in the Canadian Football League than one of our general managers. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm gonna chalk this up to Ed Hervey. I'm gonna give him a bit of an alibi in that he, his explanation of it was awful. But I think he was sort of, I know Ed a little bit, and I think he was sort of looking at it as like, to be a great football team, you need everybody pulling the rope in the same direction. It's not about superstars. I want to kind of give him that out a little bit. Okay. And I don't think we should cancel a guy because he misspoke. That's too far.
No. Yeah.
Too far. So, and I don't think we demand apologies or anything like that. That's just, he said it. So what? Move on. But in the bigger picture, the league needs to get a good handle on this from everyone that's involved in our league to actually say what is real and don't shy away from it. For some reason, we have to qualify. It's such a Canadian way. We have to qualify what we're going to do when we're complimenting. That it's a world-class athlete. Now, what I mean by that, and I want to qualify what I said, no, just world-class athlete, full stop. That's it. Because they are. They absolutely are. They train the same. They run the same speed. They're just as strong. They went to the same schools. These guys are world class. Full stop. And if we start messaging collectively that way, 10 years from now, they're going to be kids that go, this is world class. Not only because they can see it for their own eyes, but also because they've heard it for 10 straight years.
Who are the immediate superstars, CFL? Not right now. Just you could go the last 20 years, Glenn. Whatever that come to mind.
Well, I could give you 10 on every team. I mean, I could give you, your top receivers. A lot of those Canadians the last few years. The Justin McKinnis, those guys are world class. The Gino Lewis, who this whole controversy with Ed Hervey was all sort of centered around. He's a world-class receiver. You can't tell me that he couldn't play on half the teams in the NFL and be a star. But, pick any one of the starting quarterbacks, any one of the good quarterbacks. Zach Collaros, if he had got the right opportunity, would have been a great CFL quarterback or NFL quarterback, and is a world-class player. Ricky Ray, Warren Moon, all these guys. So, I don't know. I've had this fight and been on this hamster wheel for 35 straight years. And the frustrating part for me is not talking to the fans about it, because I don't blame the fans for thinking this or not, talking about the professional athlete in that light. I don't blame them for it, because in our own head offices, on our own teams, and sometimes our own athletes, they're not getting it. They're not messaging. It's never been explained to them. One of the things, we all have different opinions about Donald Trump, but one of the things that he has done to get the popularity level up to where it is for him, which is 150 million people or more in the United States that voted for him, is that he kept his message very simple, and it was to the point, and it was this: if you vote for me, I will make your life great. And he said it over and over and over again. That was sort of a master class and I'm not even sure he understood he was doing it, but it's a master class in simple messaging. World class, superstar athletes. There's a bunch on every team. 3 or 4 or 5 guys on every team. Just like in the NFL, there's 3 or 4 guys that are separate from the world-class players that are playing at that level. There's 2 or 3.
I want to end with this in your comments on the blown out of proportion story of the week. It's how slow things are in March here. Premier of Manitoba.
Yeah.
About taking a flight.
Joining the charter flight
to the Grey Cup. Talk about who cares.
Well, first of all, the CBC News article on that was way too long. I mean, honestly, I think it was about 8 pages long about this guy taking a charter flight. And if you had to read it all, which takes an hour and a half, it felt like he had broken some huge law that, anyway. That was the first thing. The second thing is, once you read through it all and figured it out, he actually paid for everything out of his pocket. There's probably some sort of violation here, but who cares? I mean, this sort of getting into the playground and even politicians doing it, acting like adolescent kids. Again, back to this Europe thought, less governing, let's be adults, let's be grown-ups, let's message correctly, let's try and inspire rather than rip people apart. And if a guy jumps on a charter flight with the team and is the premier of the province supporting the team, and he paid for it out of his pocket, it's not a 7-page story of criticism. Sorry.
Yeah.
I go back to your comment about the trail in Scotland. Maybe if we had less guardrails up, we'd have less people complaining about things.
I like it. Okay.
Here it is. William Wallace's sword. That's the original
I love
sword.
it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
Whatever. You're watching the stream. All right, Glenn. We will regroup with you on Thursday.
Welcome home.
Thanks as always. Yeah, welcome home. Glad you made it home safe, and talk to you in a couple days.
Sounds good. And I'll be in Regina really soon for the dog's breakfast in about a month up in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. End of the month. Right on. Let's have some bagged eggs and some hash browns together. I like it.
Sounds good, buddy. And I got something for you from St. Andrews.
Hopefully it's a beer. Attendance. See you, Glenn. That is Glenn Suter and press coverage for Bronco Plumbing and Heating. For professional services guaranteed. They're going to treat you right at Bronco Plumbing and Heating. 781-2090. We are live in Melville. It's Terriers and Millionaires. One guy here from Yorkton is doing wind sprints, getting really tired before the game. I don't understand it. I never did it.
I never did it.
Oh, I'd probably putting in a dip and having a coffee this time. Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
You say
move,
and your cows say you tell them
your water is right over there,
and they say you can't convince a cow to move to the water, so move the water to the cows with the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System. With the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Some say the number 13 is bad luck, like walking under a ladder. Well, 13 is a very lucky number when you're talking Western Pizza, like their delicious 13-inch pepperoni from Western Pizza. That makes it, well, the luckiest number of all. Western Pizza, big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Something all drivers have in common? Your vehicle should have a winter inspection. Landry's Napa Auto Pro specializes in full-service inspections. With certified mechanics on site, they handle everything from minor repairs to major overhauls. When you take your vehicle to Landry's service, your car is in the right hands. And quality Napa batteries always have the best prices. Landry's Napa Auto Pro, located on North Winnipeg Street, serving Regina for over 50 years.
Saskatchewan, it's time to talk sports. Sportscage is on the air. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. And we're always online at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
On Tuesdays, it's always for Saskatchewan Lottery, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups across the province. Big supporters of junior hockey in the SJHL. That's why we're here in Melville.
That's right.
3 tonight. Millionaires and Terriers. SJHL report always for Southie Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks in Southie Saskatchewan. Also around the province, Weyburn is in the Battlefords. Flin Flon travels into Humboldt. Kindersley welcomes Melfort. And then the AAA game of the night. We're going to hear again from head coach of the AAA Warriors, Trevor Weisgerber, in about 20 minutes' time. If you missed that interview, Pat Canadians in Assiniboia to take on the Warriors up 1-0.
That's a big game down there. That is a huge game. And you know what? Appreciate Assiniboia coming out, showing up. Lots of people going to be there. We're expecting a crowd of about 1,800. It is not sold out. I repeat, not sold out. You will be able to get in. You may not have the best seat in the house, but it is not sold out. a chance to go watch a great AAA game down in Assiniboia tonight.
Rumor is 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line, that the Thursday game 3 at the Sixer
is sold out. Yeah, that's a rumor. We'll have to get Warren Fry to confirm that for us, but it sounds like
that's awesome.
They've pre-sold the tickets and they sold them all, so good for them.
That's awesome.
That's what it should be.
And we thanks to all the people that text in and say, hey, thanks for shedding the spotlight on AAA, the youth sports, junior high, all that. Hey,
everything. Yeah.
That's what we do here. You can get the other stuff pretty much anywhere else. Text line, Dan from Regina. I was waiting for someone to mention this.
Okay.
It's actually not a bad idea when you think about it. Fort McMurray for WHL expansion.
It's not a bad idea. It's a big center. There's lots of money up there.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes
they start pumping some pipelines in and around the world.
It's a big center, lots of money. It would be the big draw in town. Give everybody something to do there once in a while. It's not a bad move. It would be a great spot for it to be.
Thanks for the text, Dan. Anything that
another place to think about is Grand Prairie. Grand Prairie's a big center. It's about 50,000.
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's a bigger community than you think. It's a gateway to that area. Start of the Alaska Highway. It'd be a good rivalry to Prince George up there. So it's a good center. It'd be a lot. Hey, ring that bell. Ring it.
Bell.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Come on. There we go. We got a Millionaires fan. She's ready to go. I don't think she's good.
Madison? Addison's ringing the bell. Big Millionaires fan.
She's ready to go
for the game tonight. NHL this evening.
Ooh, look at you bring up Coolbet. Nicely done.
That's right. What do you think? You think about let's go Vancouver and my computer's acting up here. So Winnipeg's home to Washington. I know some guys that are at that game tonight. Hoping to see.
Oh, right, because Ovechkin's there. Could be goal number.
You are correct.
Number 7 done. 7 to go.
Ottawa in Buff. That's already started. 1-0 Ottawa leads there. Philly and the Toronto Maple Leafs are tied 1-1. Colorado welcomes Detroit later. St. Louis plays host to the Canadiens. Pittsburgh in Tampa Bay. Seattle in Calgary.
That's a big one.
Big points.
Big one.
On the line for the Flames. Golden Knights, Minnesota Wild, Nashville Predators, and Hurricanes. The Preds lead 1-0 there. Kings host the Rangers, and later, if you're a late better like myself, when everyone goes to bed. Sprinkle Town.
Yeah, when the kids are all sleeping and he's on the app.
Okay, so yeah, we got earlier in the show too. We talked to President of the Melville Millionaires, Daniel Hope.
Yep.
Played in the league. Now he's back. We're going to play that interview again. He talks about, we won't give it away, tease. He talks about how much it costs to run the team here.
And it was a bigger nut than I thought. I'm not going to lie to you.
Me as well.
It was a bigger number than I thought.
And then the good point is, and he's a business major, economics major, is you don't want to be at that number.
You got to get over it.
You want to go as far over as you can. And they have a big lottery here that helps.
You got to get cash in the bank with all these franchises. They got to, Yorkton had their struggles early in the year. They had that season ticket drive, trying to create some more revenue and get some more bums in the seats. I give them credit for doing that. Each community's got their own thing that works better for them, and Melville's got their lottery, and I wish them all the best with that.
So it's a great interview. It's coming up. If you're coming to the game tonight, there should be about 1,500 to 1,800 in here. It's going to be awesome. Be like Addison. Bring a cowbell.
Yeah.
Get rocking. So happy to be here. Looking forward to watching this game. Carter, thanks so much for everything.
Hooking us up.
Setting everything up here. This is awesome. So we got President of the Mills, Daniel Hope, coming up, followed by head coach of the AAA Moose Jaw Warriors, Trevor Weisgerber. That'll take you home. Busy night of hockey. Maz will recap everything tomorrow. It's a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com on X, and as always on 620 CKRM.
At Nutrien, feeding the future is our purpose. It's what we do every day. We're proud to partner with more than 275 community organizations across Saskatchewan. We invest in education, agricultural research, and initiatives that strengthen the places we call home. As the province's largest private sector employer, we take pride in supporting the next generation joining Saskatchewan's workforce. Because when our communities grow, we all grow. Nutrien, from mine to farm to you. Nutrien.com/future.
Hi, I'm Carla Beck, leader of the Saskatchewan NDP and MLA for Regina Lakeview. Saskatchewan NDP MLAs are focused on the future. We're pushing to get our world-class products to new markets. That means more rail lines, pipelines, and power lines.
And I'm Joan Pratchler, NDP MLA for Regina Rochdale. The Sask Party government's budget cuts healthcare and education. There's no plan to save affordable childcare. You deserve better. It's time to focus on the future. So contact me, 306-531-3125.
When the Saskatchewan weather turns cold, you can turn to Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling for water heater and water softener rentals. Bronco is back to renting water heaters and water softeners, so you can set your mind at ease when the colder weather hits. Bronco will send the best qualified and professional tradespeople who will take care of all the maintenance for you, so you can enjoy a hot shower with soft water. Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Since 1978. Call 781-2090. Learn more